Are we going to try and get Jack over for Le Mans, or is...
Well, we'll see, won't we?
It's not like he's got anywhere else to be at the minute.
No, he's not busy doing anything at all.
Crashing touring cars into everybody. What a night.
Yeah, well, I'm getting inundated with messages about the stream now. I'm not. I can't control it, man.
YouTube has died on us.
Hashtag just YouTube things. Rory McDuff, by the way, that's a pretty quick turnaround those Hydra boys have done. He's already out of the pit lane.
The power of the free shirt strikes again. Got to mention it every race.
I'm still determined for my T-shirt, like with my name on it, and I've had that, and I will say it every broadcast. And I don't care that Rory McDuff has got a Hydra T-shirt that doesn't have his name on it. I don't care. I want one with my name on it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, well, currently, by the way, Alex Siebel is closing in on Nick Matilda, so there's 3 and a bit seconds there. But I think Siebel is closing this one down. Whether he'll be doing it smart on fuel, though, let's be honest, it's Edge Esports, isn't it? So you'd be like, well, yeah, you know, they're gonna be saving fuel and cruising up, closing that gap down bit by bit. Picking their battles. I saw Greg Hall, by the way, has gone a lap down now, so we've only got 4 cars now on the lead lap.
Yeah, Adam Baldwin under attack from Cedo Via by the looks of things. Cedo's got a bit of damage on the front of that BMW, so he's tagged somebody at some point. But look at the speed he's got going down the. Well, I say look, but he's having a sniff. No, the hypercar comes up behind. I think that's Dennis Jordan in behind him. They'll have to let him go before he even attempts to have a crack at the Juicers Motorsport Club car. Gaps increasing.
I think he's a little bit too far off.
Oh, we've got stream back, so that's all good news. Fantastic.
Hello, everyone again. We're not dead. We're still here. We've not been infected by anything at all. As you can still see that battle between Adam Baldwin, Cedo Via, and eventually, I think, closing up to this, just out of shot. You'll probably see him pick his way into it. Will be Chris Sever. From a steady shot, I mean, it looks like
maybe not.
You've got Daniel Pazda and David Serra on screen at the moment, the battle for the podium.
Chris Sever just had a massive cut coming through the sort of the beginning section before the S's. He might have picked up a cut track for that, so I'll have to keep an eye out to see if he picks up any more. But he's let the Alcar go through, not for position, but for just lappage. So he's just getting out of the way there.
A cheeky bit of lappage.
Lappage, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see if any cheeky lappage can go. You got the Fair Racing team trying to unlap himself. I think he's trying to unlap himself. I don't know who's behind that car at the moment. It's it's definitely a car that's had a few issues. No, it is putting a lap on. It's all good. There's a car that's trying to unlap itself, trying to make it through wide, slightly away through the middle. But we're now back with Adam Baldwin and Cedo Via. And there's the Azura, the race leader, directly behind as well.
The Azura car should be by before turn 1, so that's Cedo dealt with. And also the Juicers Motorsport Porsche also dealt with. So Cedo's got a clear track behind him. There's a LMP2 sort of making its way towards him. So it'll be touch and go through this little section, but he's right at the back of Baldwin. He's definitely the faster car. Can he capitalise while he still can?
Well, I'm sure he'll push for it, but then I think they might. I think Sancho, they're quite smart. I think they might be running a bit of fuel strat as well, see if they can get themselves a little bit further up. Of course, we know that Pazda and Sarah, I think, are running a bit of an alternate strategy, playing about with the tyres and stuff. So maybe they'll come back into the mix. Cedo Via needs to get by Adam Baldwin. We know his pace. Ooh, there goes the Butler Powell P2. Slotting its way in the middle.
And then slot by again. Around the outside of Oak Tree.
Oh, it's risky. That is mighty risky.
There he goes. He cuts across in front. Now look at
how much
Cedo.
dare-
Now look at Cedo. Has he managed to get the exit he wants out of Oak Tree Part 2? I don't think he
Not
has.
really, no.
Had a little bit of a wide moment, didn't he?
Of course, all the cars we run here in the Virtual Endurance Championship and the GTE are all bopped, balance of power. But they're all still ever so slightly different, of course, and that Porsche, that drive off of Oak Tree, I know that wasn't the best line from CDY, but we did notice it earlier. The Porsche seems to just have a far better launch from that, but I think the top speed of that BMW is quite a bit greater. It's just that initial launch is enough to defend. There goes Nico Barkley. I'm assuming it's Nico Barkley. No, Bohemian, sorry. Bohemian, still behind the seat of the one Echo. Yeah, not yet, that's right.
We've got controller boy Lazarus Philip. Oh, here comes Cedo via.
Oh,
no!
I think there is maybe a tiny touch of contact there.
But there was a huge lockup from Cedo on the right front tyre. That's not going to help his cause at all. But yeah, like I said, we've got Lazarus Philip, Harkos, Enzo Fazzi, Jeremy Talbot, Tim Ulrich, Daniel Almeida, and Nico Hillebrand waiting to join in the race. So let's go have some driver swaps very, very shortly when people come around for their next round of pit stops.
Yeah, Nico Hillebrand will be taken over, I think, from Michael Coldenbach, who obviously is in a very good position at the moment, leading the way in LMP2. I think he's in that one anyway. Whoa! Sorry, I just saw the Blackhawk car, one of the Blackhawk cars, spinning in front of Michael Coldenbach. That was very close coming out of turn 10. I thought that was their race done. So close.
Yeah, the launch of the Porsche is so much better than the BMWs, but then the BMW seems to have better acceleration. This is going to be interesting to see come Le Mans, if the BMW will be munching up the long straights of Mulsanne and up towards the Porsche curves and also in the corner.
Yeah, of course. I think that BMW will be quite strong come Le Mans, but of course, it's 2 months away. We don't really know what's going to happen. There's that battle between Devotero the Asombic leading the way from the Juices. So we're getting a lot of Juices coverage here. We've got a yellow in Sector 1. Not sure who that's from. I don't see anyone. But either way, Juices all over the place, trying to mount their challenges in GTS. We did see some tyre marks going off there at NASCAR Bend. So someone's taken a trip up to up the escape road.
Nick Newcomb's just messaged me to say it will. So he knows a lot about setup and strategy and all that good stuff. So it's always good to get Nick's insight to help us tell you watching at home what's going on.
Yeah,
or wherever you are right now.
Well, you should all be home. If you're not at home, you'll break it.
Oh, someone's off at Oak Tree again. I didn't see who it was. I just saw the tyre. Oh wait, no, it's just someone running wide.
It might have been Bohemian Milan just running up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should all be at home. You should be looking after yourselves and keeping away from the outside. It's very scary out there. You don't want to be a part of it. Daniel Pastor again, very, very close. No way through, and Cedar Vias miles off. Nice
look at this queue behind Daniel Pastor waiting to get around.
Yeah, there goes one. There goes two. Oh, that was tight.
Did that push Pastor onto the grass?
Yeah, there was no contact. But it was pretty tight. It's not the ideal place to slot your hypercar through. It's tight though.
Very tight. I mean, it's not the most aggressive pass we've seen from an LM hypercar today. No,
sirree. There has been a few. I'm sure there'll be a few GTs, particularly from the early point there, he's thinking, who are we?
Dennis Lynn's brought his LMP2 into the pit lane.
He'll hand that one over to Enzo Fazzi. I've got to do it. Sorry, Enzo. But obviously Enzo Fazzi, the guy who took over the car at Imola, had that crash with the Monaco after outbreaking them into the turn. Okay, all right, cool. Got out of the way. Nice, cool. Tick. Done. Just doing my broadcast checklist. Done egg.
This is Lewis's broadcast bingo.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we've got Edmund Pun. We've got
We've got someone making a
Sebring fuel.
Sebring fuel Jake. Someone making a Sebring fuel Jake. Yeah.
What else we got? We've got
Well,
Crash.
the Enzo thing. Yeah. I don't know what else. What else can we stick on there? People would drop it in the comments. Give it a like.
Something to do with Jimmy.
Yeah. Just in general.
Yeah, we did that ages ago.
Isn't it? Yeah. I like how you're probably writing this down, actually.
Oh, Heiko Kovac is also coming to the pit lane to run his strategy.
Yeah, we'll hand that one over to Hillebrand. Apparently, I'm being told to leave Enzo alone. It's very naughty. I'm a naughty person. It's fine.
Jordi San Andres, 29th overall, chasing down Fabio Cangioli. This is a Corvette versus Corvette battle, heading up towards the Oak Tree corner, but here comes Sconefleet to sort of separate this battle momentarily. And yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to... he's actually split them up and pulled a bit of a gap between them, so that's helped Fabio a tiny bit. There's no way that Jordy's going to come back towards the roller coaster section here.
No, but, well, I mean, that's going to be a bit of a lunge, isn't it? from that distance.
Well, if you no longer go for gap.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you must
Robbins racing.
Exactly.
Yeah, do it for Dale and all that stuff.
If you want, just don't brake for the roller coaster. Just skip across it, cut down the inside, and grab the position anyway.
Joe Collab for season 13 confirmed.
What was the other try we did? Oh yeah, it was Jake Clapp and North Star. Can we go back to the other? Yeah. Got to do it once an hour.
It'll take you an hour to get ready. Maximilian Kalinic is also in the pit lane. Who we've got waiting? We've still got Ulrich, Almeida and Hillebrand waiting to jump in, so that'll be... Well, Hillebrand definitely for one of the hypercars.
Wait.
Fancy's taken over from Dennis Lynn, so yeah, that's all sorted.
Oh god, I'm getting so very confused with what I was looking at there.
It's hard to keep up at this place, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. So no, Rivas has taken over from Michael Colvin back in a 28. So it's Sergio Azevedo's car, which Nicholas Hillebrand is in. I could have made myself a lot easier by zooming in onto the old fin on the back end of that car, because it does say it on there. Sorry. But unfortunately, I'm not a smart man.
Well, we already knew that.
Nick Silva's in the chat after handing the car over, and very impressive run he has had in this race. Simon Sconefleet in the pit lane. Is he handing over? Maybe. Is Daniel Almeida in that car?
Daniel Almeida hasn't joined in yet. No,
he's in the spectator. Is he in that car? I think he is. Yeah, he is. Good for the reviews. There we go. Oh, Liz, smart. Got that battle then for 9th position. Cangioli, Jordi San Andres directly behind. Is Jordi going to go for a move? Probably that one's actually a Jordi. Now I'm just assuming that everyone's like Jordi's bar. He's going to go down the inside of turn 1 though. Going to try and hook it around the outside though with the Witchwood car. I don't think it's going to work, and I think World of Sim Racing is going to gain that 9th position. Oh, there's a Butler Power car trying to figure its way around all of this as well. But there goes the position for Jordi San Andres. Fabio Cangioli demoted down a position, and there goes the Butler Power car down the inside.
Yeah, once again, it's split the two, so it's now Jordi San Andres that's being helped along by the Butler Power car. So that LMP2 just finding a nice piece of clear track to run. But, as easily as San Andres has put that move on Cangioli, it's just as easy for Cangioli to come back. We've just got to hope that both cars keep it on the track until the end, because, drop it onto the grass and, well, your race is over, pretty much. We've seen cars end up here at the Oak Tree, because there's just no runoff here. Just none. And the grass is just like ice.
Absolutely. I see Alex Siebel's in the pit lane fulfilling his stop. There's another one that you can stick on your list, talking about Edgy Sports and their fuel commitment and how good they are on fuel. You can tick there, there's another one.
Yeah, we did that early on. And they
Commentator
jumped into
bingo.
the lead.
Yeah. Commentator bingo. Ding. That's another one. I'm sure we're going to build up a good list of this for Le Mans. Unfortunately, we can't do like. Did you watch V8 qualifying when they get the battles? There's all the
Scaife bingo.
Yeah, Scaife bingo.
Like you would not believe.
Like you would not believe. Free land.
Australia's fastest corner.
Yeah. All that,
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's so good. It's so good. It really cheers me up. Seaball's still stationary. Controller boy very much in control. Oh.
Hillebrand's just taken over the Butler Pal car.
Sorry, I just saw the park. I said he completely overcooked the roller coaster. I'm a little, respectfully, a little scared having Lazarus for the podcast in that car. It's been in such a good position. No disrespect to Lazarus, but
I want to know how he is that quick with a controller. It's madness.
he's quick, but he's not the most consistent of drivers. And like that is no fault of his talent. That is a controller is. It's not a way to do sim racing. I mean, he is perfectly capable in that car,
there.
but it's the thing is it's all well and good. And this is what I learned when I was in a controller: is you can be very quick, and like it's perfectly simple. Like, I've been very fast in the controller. Oh, sorry, I've been very fast in the controller. The thing is where you lose out is the consistency because you don't have the feel. You're driving on reactions, not on feel.
I mean, I'm just seeing the drone shot here, and you can see his inputs are staggered rather than a smooth curve to get through the corners. So it's not helping him. Not helping the tyres either.
That's another one you can stick in commentator bingo. Speaking about Lazarus's control body.
Yeah.
Nick Newcomb just says controller on this track. Yeah, I know. Daniele Canastracci's in the pit lane for Wayfair Esports at the towards the top end of the LMP2 field. I think Roman Yakubovic, who's directly behind, will also come in the pit lane. We're looking back at Fabio Cangioli, who's trying to close up to the back of Jordi San Andres as he's got by and trying to run away. I think the world of sim racing is pretty quick enough at the moment to build a gap there. Roman Yakubovic is going to stay out and will take the lead, inherent lead, from Daniele Canastracci, at least for now, in the LMP2 class. Lars Jeppesen is going to take that lead as well. Of course, that Team Ricky Monster's way off on strategy. Whether that will work out for them towards the end of the race, no idea. But they are way off on strategy. I don't think that's a bad thing. Their pace has been pretty damn good.
Yeah, it has. It's. I mean, they actually went pretty well here in the VLMC as well. I can't remember who it was now, but I think it wasn't Strana because he was driving for somebody else. But yeah, they actually finished second in GT3, while one of their P3s got disqualified for putting the wrong car into the race. But we'll ignore that. But Simon Marshall's team did have a decent run in the GTs last time out here at VIR, and we're going to be here at VIR on Monday for GT Challenge, which will be a lot of fun.
It's going to be damn interesting, that is for sure. It is round 3 of the GT Challenge, so it's our first time seeing 5 new drivers that have moved their way up from Division 2 up into Division 1. Of course, join us for that. Myself and Aidan will be bantering our way through that one, that's for sure.
Hopefully it'll be a bit less fast-paced than this one has been, because there's only one classic car. It
seems to have stabilised though, so I think we might be alright for the next few hours. He says. Question mark.
Pastor and Sarah for 21st and 22nd overall, they're getting pretty close, so we'll check in with them. There was only about 0.7 of a second between them as I checked the live timing, but I think the gap's come out a bit now.
Yeah, I think Adam Bolton and Cedar Vire are also pretty close. Chris Avere's not actually able to close on this. He doesn't really have the pace and whilst traffic's coming through, it's just not really worked out. By the way, Roman Yakubovic is into the pit lane, so that Team Ricky Monsters does cycle out into the class lead in LMP2 once again.
I think that might actually be the closest battle we've got on track. Pastor and Sarah's now gone up to 1.3 seconds, so it was the closest battle. Jakubowicz and Smoreglio, that's getting bigger because one of them's in the pits. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The gap's actually between well, actually, and Baldwin and Cino Via, that's 1.3 seconds, so that's getting close. So that one will be one to look at within the next couple of laps. But other than that, yeah, everybody's very well spaced out, and now it's just a case of making sure traffic can get past you without ripping you off into the weeds.
Yeah, exactly. It's all a game of survivor at this point. Considering how many mistakes
McDuff's
we've
off
seen.
again.
Oh.
McDuff just going. He's taken a whack at some point because he's staying on the grass and hasn't bothered to come back on. But it's car's crabbing. I think once he gets back onto the track, we'll see how bad it is. No, I think he's actually okay. I think it was just
getting out of the way, maybe
overcorrecting on the grass to avoid spinning out. But yeah, he's still going. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, it's not really good race. I mean, the thing is, when you make a mistake like that, like, there's a certain feeling of embarrassment, I guess. In a sense, you kind of like, raw. And then you make another mistake, and then you make another mistake, and it's just it gets worse and worse and worse. Turka Hakkinen will be taking over that car fairly shortly, I think. I did notice, by the way, that Enzo Fazzi's, whilst he's been in the car, I don't recall him being that far back, but he's now in P9. I don't recall him being that far back. Roy McDuff is now in the pit lane, and
Dennis was 8th when he brought it in, so yeah, that makes sense.
Well, Turka Hakkinen is in the game, so Turka Hakkinen will take over for the final 3 hours. So, 3 and a bit. I think that's a bit of a breather now for Rory McDuff. Maybe he'll take over later in the race to be like, let's just get this one to the checkered flag. Not a good day at the office for Singularity in all of the classes, with the one very specific exception of GTE, where things seem to be going, commentators' cars, quite well. Where you've got this car leading by 30 seconds over the 97 Sancho. Their championship rivals have been fallen by the wayside. This is the one car that's going to go into, at least at the moment, into Le Mans with a more than healthy lead. It currently leads GTE by 11 points over the Sancho, the number 87, which you can see on your screen there, is down in 6th place. Now, 6th place in this is 8 points? 9.
He's going to have a sniff at the Juice's car, though. He's got the overspeed. Goes to the inside, does Cedo Vibe, but he's got the Butler Pal and LMHC again taking to the grass to get by. But yeah, Cedo. Oh, that was mental. Why did you do that for? But
that was not good.
But
that was,
free positions are the best positions.
But
Cedo backed out of that smartly.
That Butler Pal car was the one that was battling for the high up positions. Why would you take such a risk? Just dived it down the inside. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that. That was absolute madness. And you're absolutely right. Cedo Via just went, nah, I don't fancy this. Backed out of it. Boom, big crash. Position gained. Tick. Thank you very much.
Shall we add McGlade and Millward have a go at driving standards onto the bingo card as well?
Yeah, we actually should. We also need to add Sancho bias. That needs to be on there.
Yeah.
Tick.
Yep. How many do we need? 12?
Well, wouldn't it be 16 because you want 4x4, didn't you? Well, I guess you just do it in lines.
We'll work something out anyway for next time out.
We'll do magic. We'll do commentator bingo. We'll send it out to everyone in the community, and we'll play some bingo. Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be nice.
Oh god, that wasn't pretty. Here we go. We're going to see it. We're going to replay and see it again. You see him go down the inside, just completely over the corner to Reavers, and that put the power car. After being in such a good position, I kind of get the feeling there's going to be a bit more headed their way.
Yeah, just to reiterate, when Jimmy Allison did his driver briefing, he said if you end up with a penalty, chances are you may sit out Le Mans. So I think the incident race report's going to be pretty long on the old forums. I'll have to check in and have a look at that because it's definitely going to be a mad one, I think.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of work going in after this. I'm absolutely sure. I've got a message from Dennis Lind. He said if only I was playing Star Citizen right now.
Oh,
bless.
I'm still not joining it.
No, you're missing out on
No.
the outrageous banter that we have with myself, Ed, of course, Jimmy Allison. It's proof that Jimmy Allison does have fun times outside of just doing this.
I think Jimmy's given up and he's going off to play it now.
Yeah, probably. If the stream ever switches over to Star Citizen, you got a radio play. You understand why?
With Jimmy's live cam.
You're actually when you join Zancho, it's part of the contract that you sign. You have to download Star Citizen. It's part of it. Oh, that's one of the Juice's cars off. Which Juice's car is that?
Is it Sarah?
Pastor,
yeah.
22. Daniel Paz has been off the road at Oak Tree. Has he hit the wall though? Is there damage on that car?
That car was already damaged at the front, so it's difficult to tell.
Wheels
but
straight.
Cedo Via is going to be catching up to that because Pazda's tyres are going to be ruined. Ruined.
Yeah, they're not going to be particularly tasty on that car. Thankfully, though, there's only I guess it's a fair while, 13 laps left of this stint. Paul Holt's taken over the Fair Racing Team car. That LMP2. There we go, flinging it through. Ooh, it's a good line there from Daniel Pazza, actually. But he's going to stay out.
Car's got plenty of grip, so he's okay.
Yeah, but I think he might be a bit slower.
I'm just going to check in with...
There's a replay, by the way. Sorry, just going to check that replay. Just overcooked it speed-wise. Spins it round. Oh, good slow-mo as well. Well done, Jimmy. Nice slow-mo. Is he going to keep it out of the barrier, though? I don't think he did. Yeah, no, he kept it out of the barrier nicely. I don't think he hit the barrier at all.
Are Jimmy and Ruben having a slow-mo battle?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in my opinion, Jimmy wins that battle because he got a slow-mo of Ed spinning at Sebring, which is just phenomenal.
I saw that. Top banter.
Top content. Martin Furman into the pit lane. That is actually going to promote, I believe, Borja Milan in another position. Ding, it does. So, considering that disconnection, Borja Milan and that one Acco is now running in 6th place. Not bad. Would be... I think, considering that, I still think that would be their second best finish. That was a bit aggressive on the inside, but I still think it'd be their second best finish if they were to finish this race in 6th position, which is good.
Well, as it stands, Cedo Via is actually lapping faster than Hasdall without that little bit of spinach on the last lap. So the gap's going to come down eventually, I think. Just how much has Cedo got to close it down?
Yeah, Nick Newcomb just messaged me saying that Paz's car is okay. So it's just a little heated on the tyres and no more than that. Obviously no damage. I don't think it's... obviously didn't hit the wall or anything. It's just a spin. There goes. Oh, in the foreground, there's the Hyder car off the road again. I don't think it's hit anything this time. I think it's just off the road. There's a battle for the lead in LMP2. The Butler Power car, which this one is. Yeah, it is Noiru's. This is the one that was in that. Yeah. It is that incident that we saw. This is the one that probably going to be looked at some point. Stuck on the back of Lars Jeppesen, heading back up through the S's towards turn 10, where they're going to flick it through at high speed. Back down, and this battle for the lead. Two people on very different strategies. Oh, Lars Jeppesen a little bit too quick into Oak Tree there. Turka Hakkanen's in the pit lane again. So that Hyder car has only been out of the pit lane for a couple of laps, back in the pit lane as these two slipstream their way past the RGPL Aston Martin. By the way, that car qualified really high. I think it was that one. It was one of the Astons that qualified really, really well here.
Yeah, Woithers was close right up to Jepsen on the under braking for the roller coaster. So has he got better tyres at the minute? With their little strategy game that they're playing.
Yeah, I think they're all sort of running different things, but the person with the best tyres and the person who's going to be in the best run, here goes Noy Rovers, who's going to go inside outside. It's going to try and dive down the inside surely. It's going to get covered off. Try and pick the outside. Going to commit on the brakes. It's not going to be enough. Going to go for a cutback potentially. Is it going to be there? There's no real room. And no, that one doesn't work. And I'm going to go back down the inside. No. But whilst this is happening, 2 cars back from this, Daniele Canestracci, guy in the best tyres, guy in the best position potentially. and now closing in more so. So we've got a three-way fight for the lead here in LMP2. Crazy stuff. Yellow flags back out in Sector 2. It's the one we're just heading through. It's the one that includes Oak Tree, so we're assuming that someone's been off up that way. It's been a mad opening 2 hours and 50 minutes to the 6 hours of the Virginia International Raceway. Turka Hakkinen out of the race. Hydra's pulled the plug. Oh, that's a shame. It's another car to add to the ever-growing junkyard that we've got in pit lane at the moment.
Here comes Rivers on there. Oh, no, backs out.
Decided he didn't want to punt off an LMP2 as well as a GTE.
Oof.
Holds firm. Yeah, oof. It's fine. It's all right. I've played Red Dead Redemption. I know how to fire some shots. It's fine.
Kasper Stolzer in the pit lane. That should promote Goran Jordovic into the lead for the time being, but it won't be permanent because obviously Jordovic has got to fuel up, and here comes Rivers again on the outside.
I don't think he's going to be able to commit around the outside. He's got to go for that cutback back down the inside, maybe try and get back down the inside for NASCAR Ben. That's what he's trying to do. He's very close, but doesn't feel it. That move though, that pit from the Singularity, that's early. That's very early.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind we're supposed to be pitting on the hour every time. That could backfire quite drastically with the number 97, because that 97 I'm pretty sure is going to go for at least the next 10 minutes. I've just got he thinks the 60's died. He thinks that car's been in a crash.
Which one?
Kasper Stolzer. He thinks that Singularity been in a crash.
Really?
Yeah, you keep an eye on this battle between these two.
Okay, you have a look at that.
And I'll go have a wee dodge.
Right, the one thing I was going to point out before we realise that is that Jepsen's got to be careful going into turn 1 because a lot of his moves to defend have been reactionary rather than preemptively. I think the term is proactive. That's it. So he's got to be very, very careful. We don't want moving in the braking zone. And here comes Rivers again. Can he make it stick this time? That's a brave lunge. He's now on the outside. Oh, a bit of contact, squeezed, but onto the marbles for Jepsen, and through goes Rivers. Has also been taken by Canastracci as well. So Rivers has lost 2 positions in the space of as many corners.
Well. That yellow flag that came out in Sector 2, we said it was going to be the Oak Tree. And it was the Singularity. The race leader in GTE has been into that wall and pretty damn hard as well.
Oh, that front end is knackered.
Yeah. That car looks pretty grim. Here is a replay of it. You can see, bang! That is a pretty big whack on the rear left. Had to reverse out of it. This could be big, massive for the championship.
So with Jordovic in that position, what does that do?
For Jordovic, not so much. That's not the car that we're really looking at in that championship.
Right, okay.
It's more the Cedo Via. It's more that car that they've already dropped behind. They're already way behind that car. It's that 87, the currently one that is running around in 4th position, that one that's on screen at the moment. That is the big gainer from this. Whilst they're losing all of that time in the pits, this could be a huge gain for the championship. They are, what did I say? It was 11 points? 11 points off. They could be gaining that back here today.
Yeah, Thomas Beher in YouTube chat says we're pretty much done for. That's all 3 Singularity cars in the wars today. That's not what we'd expect from a team that's as well drilled as them.
No, it has very much fallen apart. We'll focus back on the battle for the lead in LMP2, where you've got Noy Rivers in 8th position, currently heading that LMP2 field from Daniele Canastracci. You got very close to a GTE coming out of Hogpen there. Turka Hakkinen does depart the race. So not only was that the 3 main Singularities out, Hydra out as well.
Yeah.
It has been an awful day for Singularity. Of course, they are still circulating in LMP2. They're miles off and basically just trying to snag a few points. They're currently running in 7th position. But, I mean, like, I see Thomas Bayard says there that the repair times are ridiculous. Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, YouTube chat just caught up with me, and now that's not good. That's
The thing is, though, is you pay for your mistakes. I know that it is a rough one. 426 seconds is 7 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long time to be stationary, but at the same time, it's the mistakes you make. Everyone's playing with the same. The only real issue with it, for me, is how inconsistent the damage can be. That's where I kind of I'm like, oh, because I mean that's the same. That is the same on a real car. There are some instances where like the contact is so minimal. You take, for example, with sim wheel banging in Formula One. Obviously, we don't normally want to see it, but then you have that instant between Charles Leclerc and Vettel at Interlagos. It was a tiny touch that both cars out of the race.
Well, saying that, I was doing some research for story time. That thing that I do. That's the reason I'm here.
Is that a series?
Yeah, apparently it is. I've just done one on the Porsche 919 and how the Audi crashed at Le Mans just before Indianapolis corner. Whole front end was ripped off.
Oh my god! Yeah, that was a huge crash.
5 minutes of repairs.
Yeah, that was tanky.
That car looked like it was done.
I remember watching that because we were all watching it on another TeamSpeak, and it came in. Not only had front end damage, but obviously with how it came into the barrier, it also rotated. It took out the rear end as well. Came into the pit lane, like you said, 5 minutes back out on track. I was like, what?
And behind safety cars, so they lost no time.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I will never forget that. It was
German engineering,
bonkers.
ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely bonkers. But you say, you take that example. That's quite a hefty crash. Meanwhile, they could have just drilled it into a barrier at 30 miles an hour. Would have done more damage.
It's 50 kilometers for everybody else watching. Ish. 47.
I was going to say it's not exactly. Yeah, it's actually, I think it's 48, isn't it?
Just round it off. It's fine.
We've divided by 5 times by 8.
We've differentiated. We're all inclusive here at the Virtual Endurance Championship. As Cedar Vire has now taken third place from David Serra via Le Pit Stops. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens for the rest of this race. And it looks like we're going to have our thrilling showdown for Le Mans as well.
I mean, to be fair, I know this round was for some people, they're like, this is a terrible track. Sure, maybe.
But it's provided some great shocks.
It has been absolutely mad.
And this is the full story of the 2020 VEC race at Virginia.
It has been absolutely mad. It's been bonkers. It's been crazy. Yet here we are. And we're going to be going into Le Mans with potentially one of the tightest title fights across all 3 categories in the Virtual Endurance Championship. Now, I know that has worked very much against some teams and very much in the favour of others, but for me as a spectator, as a commentator, as someone watching the series, I mean, this is what you... Not what
yeah,
I'm
watching this as a fan as well. This is brilliant.
It's madness. Absolute madness.
No, this is Virginia.
Wow. Do you want to know what time it is?
It's time to check in with the standings.
It is time to check in. By the standings, we mean race standings. We can't do quick maths here, unless you fancy it. Pull out a spreadsheet and start doing some.
I tried doing that in GT Pro, and I missed the race because I was too busy working out.
I know. No, we'll leave those quick maths to Le Mans. We'll make
via now second in class through pit stops. So see how that pans out for him going forward.
They are approaching that pit stop. Actually, no. I'm gonna make a call here. We're gonna hold off doing the update until after the GTs have come through the pit lane, because that
makes more sense.
It does make more sense. It's annoying they pit on the hour though, isn't it?
It's more annoying than trying to watch a 2x2 rolling start on the in-game standings.
Oh, yeah, that graphic is much easier, isn't it?
Thank you, Studio397, for that.
Here's a graphic of where they've qualified. Read that instead. Fantastic work. Currently looking at Adam Baldwin circulating in 4th position in class. Decent gaps. It's a fairly decent gap ahead, and the cars behind in pit lane yet to stop his heat. It's currently a Zansho 1-2 in that category. I think Goran Djordjevic will be pitting potentially this time by. Olivier Fortin is in the game to take over from Cedar Vire as well when he comes in for his stop inevitably. Goran Djordjevic is going to stay out. He doesn't want to push the fuel a little bit too close this time, the scoring. It's only cost him 1 win this season, don't worry.
Bless him.
I was absolutely sure when, like, thinking back, I was like, I'm pretty sure the Juices won that race. No, of course it didn't. But I was like, I swear for the longest time that the Singularity car spun out. It must have been the Juices came in for another pit stop, and I'm just blind. Cito Vaya comes into the pit lane, by the way, from second in class, and the strategy seems to be working out pretty well in their books. Olivier Fortin will take over that car potentially to the end of the race. We'll obviously wait and see on that one. Maybe Cito Vaya will come back in. It's been a good stint from him. Chris Severa also in the pit lane. Daniele Smereglio also in the pit lane, and there comes Adam Baldwin joining them. So curious that Goran Djordjevic and the number 97 obviously learned something, haven't they? Pulling away at the lead. How would Dan Kell feel? You know, if that car ends up taking a win. He hasn't driven a single lap. Come on, Dan.
I'll message him. Can we get a statement?
Yeah. I want a full statement, full written statement.
It won't be readable.
Because he's northern.
Well, that and because of all the effing and jeffing he'll be putting in there.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. He's normally a good boy. His dad's also behind him, so he can't write anything too dangerous.
Oh dear.
Right, once Djordjevic has come in and once they've all come out of the pit lane, Jordi San Andres as well, then we'll read through the current standings. Goran Djordjevic is now going to jump into the pit lane and hand over that car. Oh, actually, yeah. No, sorry, I'm awake. It's cool. There you go. Olivier Fortin has taken over the 87 car. David Serra now comes up into what will be second in class, fourth in class it says, but I think it'll be a bit harder than that once Casina and Jordi San Andres come in the pit lane. I think there are some teams that are running a very different strategy here that it might work out quite nicely for. Just don't know who.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Oh, it doesn't because of the little countdown timer that we have on the cars when they go to the pit stop. It doesn't actually show you what positioning class they're in. So I'm going to have to flick back across to my other screen and get the live timing up.
You've got to have just 3 screens set up, all of completely different resolutions, mate.
I need an extra arm to be able to do all this. So that show 87 is actually 6th in class right now.
What we need to do, mate,
Djordjevic is actually still in the lead as it stands, but Sasana's going to take the lead this time by as the gap is just
comes from the pit lane.
Oh, has he?
Yep, just coming to the pit lane does Sasana.
So what about San Andres?
Let's find out through the hog pen now. Is he going to hang it right? He is going to hang it right. Boom! Everyone in the pit lane.
So Djordjevic maintains the lead.
He does. And
I'm sure Nick Dealey is working the numbers like that scene from The Hangover. That's how it looks right now with all the equations going on, trying to because now he's got Djordjevic in the lead. Fortin, that's going to be the focus. How much further can they bring Fortin up?
Yeah, if there's any more positions they can gain, we'll see once Casina and so I think he's going to be in 4th place at the moment with a question mark on the 2 ahead of him because they're running on alternate strategies as far as I'm aware. I did notice that Casper Stoltz is also back out of the pit lane in 14th place, so not scoring a single point. Now, though, is the time. Is when we can do it. We can bring up those races. We're 5 minutes late.
We can.
But we can bring it up. We can have a look at who's currently sitting where in what stat. Oh, actually, no. Before we do that, sorry.
Oh, for crying out loud!
P8, sorry. P8. There's right. We've got it on screen anyway. There's a battle for LMP2. It's fine. Currently, then leading the race, Daniel Almeida, Azure Racing, currently leading the way. Have been leading for quite a bit in this race. Edge Esports, the number 12. That is going to be a big game for them in the championship, considering that the Singularity is out of the race. Then we've got Speedy Mike, who are still on the podium, still have 2 cars in the top 5. Fantastic stuff. It's the 18, leading the number 20 race clutch. Tony Miller's done a great job with that car to put them in a good position, and Thomas Shev is going to do an even better position to hang on at the moment. So we've got Jeremy Talbot in the other Speedy Mike, the number 17, rounding out that top 5. Great effort from them. Borja Milan, unfortunate disconnection earlier in the race. He's just come in the pit lane now, so I think he might just drop a position to Henning Wallach for one target. ACR, Singularity, and Drillers rounding out the top 10. Of course, Singularity and Drillers both retired. This is halfway through the race as well, ladies and gentlemen. So this is where we're in that final bit. We'll have a look at the LMP2 standings as well, which I think has just flipped over. I think, there we go. You can see Noi Rovers has taken that lead for Butler Powell Motorsport, the number 28 car, leading the number 26 Wave 3 Esports. Pretty solid move as well, pretty robust, but nicely done. Team Rookie Monsters on the podium, then the Nicholas Hillebrand piloted Butler Powell Motorsport car, the 29, is in 4th position, and VRC1 rounding out the top 5. Another decent run for them. Maybe not good enough to keep them in a realistic chance of the championship, but one that will be nonetheless fairly well rewarded with some decent points. The other Wave 3 Esports car looking for a decent finish. I think it'll be their best finish of the season if they finish in 6th position. Then Singularity just circulating to get as many points as they can. Currently in 7th. Paul Holt, the Fair Racing team, leads Team RGPL, and then Undercover Sim Racing rounding out the top 10. And your point scorers in GTE. We'll take a look at that and find out. The Zancho that is leading. Of course, we brought that up before. The number 97 leading the way from another BMW, this time a Sombic Esports. They've been doing a very, very solid job, flying a bit under the radar, but nevertheless doing a very solid job this race. Juices Motorsports Club rounding out the podium at the moment, although those two I do think are on alternate strategies that may not pay out for them later in the race. No, I'm not going to say it. Sancho number, you know what I was going to say, it's fine. Sancho number 87 in 4th position, leading the way from Blackhawk Racing, the number 81, Chris Sever doing a great job behind that car. Then we've got Drive Game Seat Racing, Welder Sim Racing, Juices Motorsport Club, the number 74. A bit further down the order than maybe I would have expected them, assuming they've had a couple of other issues, of course, the spin a bit earlier. Oh, it's Daniel Pastor who spun earlier. I don't know what's happened about the problem. I'm sure we'll get a message from Nick Newcomb. Witchwood, and then the Butler Powell Motorsports number 76 rounding out, and there's the rest of your runners. So Speedy Mike from Sim Racing from Holland, Team Virtual Racing, Singularity, 14th position at the moment. They've got a lot of work to do to get any points on the board. Then Team RGPL, who qualified well, unfortunately race-wise it's not been quite as strong. Blackhawk Racing, Satellite out of the race, and Zancho, the number 77, also out of the race. It's been a pretty mad opening 3 hours here at Virginia, but after all that, there is your race leader, Daniel Almeida, Ajira. What a job they've done. This could be what they need to maybe reignite it and take it to a trio fight heading into the final round of the season. Of course, the 24 Hour of Le Mans coming up in a couple of months' time, and it is going to be a fantastic event. Oh, can't wait for it, mate.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So that's in June. We're in April. So we've got 2 months. The teams are going to be putting in so many laps.
Well, what else can you do at the moment? We're all in quarantine.
Yeah.
Nothing else we can do.
No. And we've also got the VLMC at Le Mans to do, haven't we?
Yeah, that's fair. That's me and you. So me and that other one.
And the commentator who never shows his face.
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah.
Because he lives upside down.
Team VR. Even though only one of us has got a VR headset. I don't know. Do you have a VR headset?
I don't have VR. I get motion sick.
I've never tried one. I wouldn't know.
I've got to take my glasses off to use it.
Same.
Yeah, I got motion sick.
Blind boy here.
It was. I can see without my glasses, but I have to really focus.
Yeah,
and that's the issue. Yeah, me too.
Singularity in the pit lane, by the way, number P15. I was going to say number 15, but no, P15 in the pit lane. There, by the way, on screen, the battle for the LMP2 lead. Wave 3 Esports versus Butler Powell Motorsports, and what a result it could be for Butler Powell.
Who is Renee Butler's pal in all this?
I don't know who Powell is. I'm assuming Powell's a person. We need to do research.
Or is it a video formatting from North America?
He doesn't like NTSC. He just wants Powell.
Yeah, because he wants that 50 Hz refresh rate. Or was it 60?
No,
that's too long ago. I don't know anymore. Please let me know in the comments.
I think Powell was 50 and NTSC was 60.
Or was it the other way around?
Did you know though? This is a nerdy fun fact whilst we're watching this battle. You know, and this is the thing that has affected a lot of games. Most recently that I can actually think of, although there'll probably be plenty. The Codemasters F1 games, although not the more recent ones, they did fix it. Oh, it's a good run there for kind of Stratchy. Oh, anyway. Tick, done. Another position. So that's way from esports back up into the lead, and I can continue my nerdy point.
Oh no!
No.
Why? I don't think he was expecting that Corvette to pit there.
To park there. Why did he follow it in though? If he was miles down.
Because people drive all the way up the
he's only
the
taking
thing,
fuel,
don't they?
Yeah, he's only taking fuel. Anyway, nerdy point. You know, like back on like the SNES about like playing your games and whatever. The refresh rate was directly to with how quick the game would run. So technically, you could beat the game quicker if you were running on NTSC, because the game itself ran quicker because it didn't generate an extra frame. It just made the same amount of frames. It just made them quicker. How mad is that?
Ah, right. I've got confirmation from Bill Worrell. 60 hertz in the US and then 50 hertz PAL because of the electric cycle rates.
Current, yes.
Because they use 60 hertz and we use 50, but we use power that actually kills you when you touch it.
Yeah, that's true. We just like living on the edge, mate. Just like that song.
Living on the edge. No, I just made that up.
Exactly. Thanks. I don't actually know who did Living on the Edge. No idea.
Anyway, Noah Roivers has left the pit lane and he's out in 5th position right now.
Aerosmith, thank you. Thanks, Jimmy. I was going to say...
Jimmy's got taste! Although he prefers Megadeth to Metallica, so...
Does he?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh my god. No, I can't deal with that. It's just a big Dave Mustaine fan. He doesn't like Metallica because they booted him. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's alright. 1982 was a long time ago, mate.
I like both. I just like Metallica more.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm not a massive Megadeth fan, sorry. But I do like Metallica, so that's all good. Sorry, we're not talking about it.
Just like the Pied Piper. Straight to the symphony of destruction.
What wasn't that in like brutal. Brutal just actually removed my coke on the top. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one like Flat Out or something like that? It was an old racing game, I swear.
Or Burnout, Carmageddon, or something like that.
Some of that jank.
$5.99 on Steam. I might pick it up later.
Well, you might as well whilst we're locked indoors.
Whilst we're watching actual Carmageddon.
Yeah, to be fair,
the driving standards have been pretty good today. You know, it's not been the carnage fest that everybody was claiming it would be.
That on screen, by the way, that was Jordi San Andres and Marco Casena going side by side. Is it Casena or Cecina?
Sasana.
It's alright. I'll get it eventually, don't worry. I need my cheat sheet. Ed didn't make me run this round, so unfortunately I'm stuck with my own brain. It's not very good. But there's another position for Jordi San Andres. Moving his way the order up to 7th in class now. World Sim Racing. What's their best result? Didn't they have they sneak a podium at some point or something like that? They did indeed. They snuck a podium at Imola. Is round 4? Yeah. Nicholas Sullivan, by the way, in the pit lane. Bringing it in.
Yeah, the sister LMP2 car.
Yeah, the other, but the power car, you can see it moving
I forget he drives for them now, actually.
I mean, I still think of him as one of those Magenta Warriors bunch, or whatever it was, whatever it got renamed to.
That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, exactly. Oscar Hardwick.
Yeah. Bright purple cars.
Yeah, with go back to season 8 and see the Dodge Viper with the massive rear wing.
Bigger than the McLarens.
Oh, much bigger. You should have you not seen this rear wing from that Dodge Viper?
No, I think it's before my time.
It was mad. It was so mad that Jimmy removed it after like 2 rounds. He was like, no, this is ridiculous. I don't think it added any aero benefit. It was just a visual thing. And knowing that lot, they were like, yes,
Meme.
we will have it. Oh, dear. Back in the day, that was when I did liveries for that team. They were much worse. It's all right. It's good times. We'll try and get Oscar Albert back on so we can just insult people at Le Mans. That's his only job.
He punted me in that BTCC race as well.
He punted everyone at BTCC race.
I got punted by Cedo. I got punted by Jimmy. I got punted by Marius. I got punted by everybody.
Oh, lies apparently. Lies. I'm being told.
I got punted by Dan as well.
I'm being wisely informed that was absolute lies. Did you not get punted by me?
No, I avoided you.
Oh, I see.
Because you tried to come back on and hit Oscar, and you missed
true.
completely. That was after someone applied two tons of weight to your car.
It was a fairly hefty beast. He who shall not be named. Oh, look at this. It's a bit of a gaggle of cars, isn't it? Around the one Echo. Chris Shepherd's behind the wheel of that one, by the way. Ooh, going down the inside of Rookie Monsters. It's pretty close. There you go.
Didn't have a lot of slow end speed there, did it?
No, it didn't.
Rookie Monster's not happy.
Not happy, no.
Or he's apologising. We don't know. Only they will know.
Chris Shepherd's, how do I put it? Aggressive as a driver. It's alright. I used to really not like Chris Shepherd, but we're good buddies now. It's all good. It's all good. It's all in the past. Danny Alicante in the pit lane. And so that car there, that Rookie Monsters car, is going to inherit the race lead of LMP2, as he's not going to come in the pit lane. And there's Chris Shepherd, sat on the back of the one target car. That is for position. I've noticed that Ajira, I think Ajira has been dropping back into Wedge Esports. I'm not going to point out too much because I've got 7.5 seconds between the two of them. I think it's been getting a bit closer. We'll go to that if anything occurs.
Let me just check in with the old... Well, Daniel Pastor's actually managed to pull away from Olivier Fortin's closing in on Serra. But yeah, Fortin's dropped off, and actually I think Seve is now closing in on him. So we'll need to watch that one within the next sort of 20 minutes or so. Djordjevic still out in front, 25 seconds ahead of Serra, so... Stable is what I would call the GT3 field right now. It's sandwiched right in the middle of that is the undercover sim racing number 47 of Tony Jukic. Another car not having fun out there.
It's GT3, not GT3.
Did I say GT3
yeah,
again?
I think so. We're gonna grab a quick interview from someone though whilst this battle's going on. Of course, it's for a position that no one cares about, right? No, I'm joking. We'll talk about it, but in here, I can't. Aidan, can you drag him? I can't. My. Thank you. It's all good. Right, joining us at the moment after what I'm going to say, probably for me, stint of the race. Right, you've done very, very well. Nick the Silver of Speedy Mike fame. How was that for you, mate?
Oh, it was very nice. Thank you for the compliment. But yeah, no, just stayed out of trouble. And Laz is doing an okay job so far, so we'll see how we go.
Absolutely. Is there high confidence at the moment that you're going to be able to hang on, or are you more just sort of set on let's just get to the end, see what position we're in?
No, we're confident we can hopefully take home P3, but we'll just have to see how the race unfolds.
Sorry to cut across you, but Shepherd and Vollett are very, very, very close to each other for P6 going through the S's. But I'll keep watching on the list and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll scream about it at some point. If not, I will. It's one or the other. Let's be honest. So yeah, you said you kept out of trouble at the moment. Lazarus for the Parkos currently behind the wheel of that car, running around in third position. Are you getting back in the car, or is someone else taking over, or is someone going to the end? I mean, that's a bit extreme.
No, I'll get back in at some point.
No worries. Nice. Well, I mean, things are looking pretty good for you. Strategy all playing out. Are you focusing on what's happening towards the end of the race?
Yeah, Edge are doing the usual fuel stuff, so they'll probably have an advantage over everyone, but other than that, we're looking okay.
Nice. We've just got to be a bit of confidence as well heading into Le Mans, of course. At least, even thus far, you're having your best run of the season, taking that into Le Mans. You're going to take that with a large amount of confidence, maybe build on that. You've got two cars running in the top 5 at the moment. It's pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's very nice. After VLMC, our team had massive issues there, but today's been a bit better. And the car down in Div 3 LMP2, I think that's on for a podium as well. So a turnaround race, hopefully, for us.
It's a good point, actually, because obviously you do VLMC as well, taking part in the GT3 category. When do you switch focus? Is it after VLMC, or do you kind of do a little bit of VEC before VLMC, or do you not mix the two? Do you just kind of go, right, that's VLMC done, now I'm going to focus on VEC and move on?
Well, the main focus has been VEC all season. I've kind of taken a back seat on VLMC, and then somehow the pace came about, so I've had to give it a little bit more attention, but we'll see how Le Mans goes. But I think I'm going to do 4 hours solo there, so.
Sorry, you can steal one of our drivers. We've got 3 in our car. It's fine.
Oh,
You can drive it.
No,
guys
no,
are the
I'm
punt
terrible.
reveal.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's the commentator car. That's all it is. Just going to be chatting rubbish. It's just how it is, isn't it? It's a bit of fun. Do you like Le Mans?
Yeah, I love Le Mans.
Going to do a good few laps then.
Favourite track.
Yeah.
Yeah, last 2 years have been plagued by issues though. First year we had a disconnect, lost 8 laps. Then last year my internet was on the fritz. So. Okay, see how we go this year though.
Which do you
Hopefully third time lucky.
prefer driving, GT3 or hypercar?
Hypercar at the moment. Yeah,
At the
I've
moment.
set up.
Ah, okay.
Start of the year was absolutely horrible.
Well, does that mean that you've kind of you've found something in the setup that's kind of working for you? Of course, like both cars, without being too harsh, aren't in the best place in the championship. Have you found something on the setup that's really, really working?
Yeah, we're just starting to understand the car a bit more. Like we've had, I think, 3 races where we're in a top 8 position in the 18, and it's just been stolen by the game with a disconnect. But now we've been okay. Just plugging away. Hopefully we'll go okay soon.
Oh, nice. Wow. Thank you very much for joining us. Best of luck for when you hop back in the car. And hopefully you can bring it home in a good spot, and hopefully the other car as well. That's currently being piloted by Jeremy Talbot. That one comes back in a nice position as well. That'd be a good round for Speedman.
Yes, hopefully.
No worries. Well, thank you. Thanks for joining us, Nick De Silva, hopping alongside us whilst we're watching this battle for 5th and 6th position. Oh no, it's not 5th and 6th position. We're looking at Jeremy Talbot's of the graphics change for 6th position. Chris Shepherd directly behind. Thank you. I'm
It's a
away.
big cut for Chris Shepherd there, I think, for the Monaco car.
He's a touring car driver. He doesn't know what track limits are.
Ah, right. Well, hopefully he can get past without hitting him. That's the other stereotype about touring car drivers is it goes to the outside for turn 1. Nothing there.
Oh,
Nothing to be found on the outside of that corner, though.
He's still.
I know.
He was close.
Probably
that
got
was-
the power too late.
That was probably the closest we've seen an attempt to get all afternoon. To be fair, that was a pretty decent attempt. Now come towards the sand shape that they'll both just slot through before they whilst they're on the straight. And they'll probably have to stay behind the rest of the pack ahead. You can see there's plenty of traffic right
There's a
on
lot
board
of traffic.
with Chris Shepherd in the top right. They're probably able to do this lot out of Oak Tree. There's a lot of pressure on Henning Bollock's
Well,
shoulders.
there's the Singularity car there as well, which isn't in the lead anymore, it has to be said. They've dropped back through a little mistake here at the Oak Tree. But that Porsche now sort of keeping the Monaco car at bay, so that gap has increased marginally. But now the one target car has got a lot of traffic to clear very quickly.
Yeah, keep that foot pinned. I think that one target car is going to clear it. I don't think Chris Shepherd is, though. Chris Shepherd is not. So Henning Bollock's going to have to sit behind the VRC1 car, but realistically that's not too bad. Chris Shepherd's got to sit behind a GTE car, which he does slot his way by. That's a pretty nice car back there. Does that one. RGPL's up next. Henning Bollock will clear VRC1 going into T1, into the horseshoe. Heading to the outside of the kink. Tick, that's that one done. Chris Shepherd's giving it a flash. The other guy's flashing. And now he's going to dive it down the inside. Boom, boom, boom. Easy done. Nice bit of communication between the two there. So it's good flash. If you use your headlights right, it's all well and good. If you just constantly flash them, you're well, it's just a map it really.
Well, there is a rule for flashes in 2 seconds, but there is actually an online program that will script flashes for you, so you can have like the full 90s rave party, or you can have a more Stable
Subdued.
Flash, more subdued. Do you want rave party or hello, I'm here?
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, you don't like the Flash, like the on and off, like very quickly. In my opinion, it is important to have at times because there are some points where you're just kind of like, I really need you to know that I'm here.
Well, Pastor for P20 overall is right up the back of the Atomic Esports car now, so lost a lot of time there.
Missing apexes left, right, and centre as well. That's good. Nice one. No, like I said, no, the Flash is like you kind of want someone to be like, I'm here. Whereas when you're at a distance, you're just kind of like, look, they can see me coming. It's fine. I'm just going to give one flash to be like, I'm here. I kind of want to go down the inside, and they flash, and that means like, yeah, go for it. Like it's a nice little bit of communication. You just kind of got to be on the same wavelength. Sarah's going to be able to hang on to that, and Paz is going to, well, try and fight. Of course, this one is for second position. Not too far behind this is Olivier Fortin in the number 87 Zancho car. And way up the road, 25 seconds, is Goran Djordjevic. Yellow in sector 1, not sure who that was for, as the race clutch car is now in the pit lane.
Yeah, so we can just see Fortin coming into the background, but this little battle is much closer as Pastor goes a little bit too deep into the corner, but nothing too leery. Keep it under control. That I think the tyres must be going off on that BMW in front because Sarah lost a lot of time over the last few laps as the Jira car just squeezes into the little gap that's presented itself, and here comes the Edgy Sports car as well to say how do you do and go through.
How do you do, please go, thanks. It's not actually Edgy Sports, that's the ACR.
It's the ACR.
But
too similar.
I will give you credit, the Edgy Sports is over behind us as well, so it's fine.
Oh, there we go. I was seeing into the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll have the lottery numbers later.
Ooh.
No.
Damn, I was really hoping for that.
It's not like we can spend the money.
Well, I mean, you can still do some online shopping.
I'll be glad when it's on.
I think most people will be, mate.
Yeah.
And whilst it's not, we can enjoy some time off.
Some really
work.
good sim racing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get those I ratings up.
No, don't get those I ratings up.
No. So that's one of the Wayframe Esports cars that lost its rear wing.
Which one is that? It's not
yes.
kind of strategy. It's
the other one.
The other one, Smreglio. No rear wing on that wagon. Nice on-board shot here.
Was that the yellow flag maybe?
In sector 1, yeah, I think so. It's been a long time he's been running around without a rear wing. We keep focused on board. That was a nice little shot there on board with Daniel Panster, who's still trying to get that second position. Smreglio's in the pit lane now, and this will work out for Singularity, actually, of all people. Enzo Fazzi behind the wheel of that one. It should be another position for them, meaning they'll be in 6th place. That would mean they would get 10 points from this, which means they'd lose 15. Carry the 1. That means there would be 3 points between the two of them.
Wow. 3 points going into Le Mans. Yes, please, I want to watch that.
And that's one of the categories, and all the other categories. I mean, if everything was to finish it. Sorry, you know, I said the race league was closing up, by the way.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yes.
I just clicked on Alex Seymour and I was like, oh, wait, there's a new Jira. Oh, that's for the race lead. It's pretty tight. At the moment, if Alex Seymour, if they finish in this position though, that, like I said, that gap for the win goes to a point.
Wow.
In the championship, they would be a point back from AAA. Jira, like I said, they would get 25 points, so they would close up. They would get up to 114, which means they would be 9 points off. So 9 points off for Jira, 1 point off for Edgy Sports, which would still hold the lead. If that switches, which there is only there's a second now between the two of them. I think Daniel Almeida is struggling a bit here. If they swap, then obviously Edgy Sports take the lead. It is still a strong game for Jira. So you as Jira fans that sat there thinking, oh, well, that's it, it's done. No, it's not. It most certainly is not. Certainly not with 2.5 hours to go of this race.
Here comes Pasto. And that move is stuck.
Stuck.
No, it's not. Nope. It's switchbacked by
unstucked.
it's unstucked and switchbacked by David Serra. So Pastor's going to have to wait a little bit longer to take second place in this race. But here comes Fortan as well. This is playing right into his hands. 2.5 seconds now. He's managed to close up to behind David Serra, while the lead overall is hotting up.
Look at this fancy side by side.
3/10 of a second now between Siebel and Almeida.
Yeah, we got a bit of a picture-in-picture. So that battle on the top right is obviously the GT battle between David Serra, the Assault BQ Sports driver, and the Juices. The battle on your main screen is the battle for the lead of the race. Overall, Alex Siebel trying to chase down, trying to catch Daniel Almeida, but we do know what this Edgy Sports is like. It will save fuel. It will just sit there, look after fuel as best it can, and try and stretch it as far. That was a bit of understeer though on that. I've noticed some of the P2s coming in the pit lane. At the moment, it was the RGPL who's coming in the pit lane. By the way, that race clutch car, it's still in the pit lane, so I'm assuming they've had a...
Pastor's made it.
They've had a off.
Pastor's made it past into second place, so it'll probably be another lap and a half maybe before Olivier Fortan's in the same position to take third.
Just been told by Egg that Jan Magnussen is watching. Obviously, trying to support his little nephew, obviously Dennis Lynn. Currently, that car running 14 favourite, but it's nice having Jan Magnussen watching away.
Hi, Jan.
Hello, sign me and something.
Has he got some free shirts he can send?
Jimmy Allison's happy. Of course he is. Yeah, okay, Jan Magnussen, what I want you to do is I want you to convince... Oh, no, we've got back for the lead. I'll get to that in a second. He's going to go back down the inside. Daniel Almeida hasn't even covered that. Edgy Sports should be able to take the lead nice and easy here up to
Please don't hit each other.
It's pretty tight, but Alex Siebel up to the lead of the race, and Daniel Almeida now drops down into second position. Didn't fight it, knew it wasn't really worth it. Back to my really important point, though. You need to convince Dennis to convince Hyder or whatever to get me a T-shirt with my name on it.
You are so determined.
I will not pay it.
Dear.
Either way, though, a second between the lead now. I think Daniel Almeida's been struggling on pace in comparison to Alex Siebel, and I think Siebel might just be able to run away here. Maybe for a second race win, and how timely would it be for that car to knock up a victory in their second one of the season? They were victorious back in Nürburgring a very long time ago, it feels, all the way back in 2019.
Yeah. Third race of the year.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
And is it the only wet race we've had so far?
Yes.
Just about that sprinkling of rain. Just
absolutely
absolute
bonkers.
carnage.
Absolutely bonkers.
We had LMP2s that qualify hypercars. What a night that was.
Yeah, it was absolutely mad. Good fun though.
Indeed.
As this, I think for as a commentator, the more mad it is, the more fun it is. Sometimes it's
not this one.
This one's been mad in a way of like, I can't believe this.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's thrown up so much that we're going to go into a brilliant Le Mans.
You'd hope.
We'd hope.
But you never know. Only in the first hour of the race, all of the people that you think might crash off, and then the championship goes to someone else that you didn't expect or something.
And it would be like, oh, we're going to have a great Le Mans today, and then Jimmy's batch file has entered the chat, and it's just drive through.
Oh yeah, there is going to be
Yeah.
a few drive-throughs leaving this one. That is for sure. Or we can just have the restart like what we had in the Le Mans 66, the official Studio 397 Le Mans event. Yellow in sector 3. Not sure who that was. But yeah, that one where it was just carnage on the restart. Much death ensued.
Oh, that was a long time ago as well, wasn't it?
It certainly was. It was in...
Shame it ended the way it did. Oh, the second one.
The second one, not
The
the
second
first
one, no, the
That
first
was
one.
The first one was
First
much
one,
longer.
yeah, first
That
one was very disappointing.
That was the time when I woke up about 3 hours too late for my commentary stint, whilst then realising, the race was red flag. Fair enough. Cool. Bye.
I woke up to a message from Felix van Delft saying go back to bed, and I was like, why? I was like, oh, I wanted to finish this, but yeah, it happens. But yeah, I'm just going to check in with the live timing again because I think Monsieur Fortin is getting ever closer to David Serra. Well, he's French, isn't he? Well, French-Canadian.
French-Canadian.
Hello, bonjour, Fortin family. I've been to Canada, I know how it works. But yeah, he's just 1.5 seconds behind David Serra right now. And there he is, following in his massive BMW, which dwarfs the McLaren.
It is.
I love this. I love it. I love that car.
Do you know, we're having a chat with some people. The actual BMW, like the people, like BMW, so like on the motorsport side of things, they hate that meme. They absolutely despise it. Which just makes me want to say it even more. Such an evil person.
It's a nice looking car. It's a nice car to drive. Yeah, I like it.
It's big.
And it's a big boy. It's bigger than the Boatley.
Yeah, I know, and that is saying something because I remember seeing a few years ago when Nissan won the Bathurst 12-hour, and it was that Nissan. There was a Boatley. I think there was like a Ferrari or a Lambo or something that was battling for the lead.
Was that the year that Shane Van Gisbergen stacked it?
Well, I wouldn't know. Maybe, probably.
Maybe.
Just assume all years. There we go. That's not one. That's the commentator bingo. Making fun of Shane Van Gisbergen.
I wasn't making fun.
I will.
Okay, you can. You can get put in the timeout corner.
Yeah, and get slammed in the gulag. Currently riding on board with Olivier Fortin, Monsieur Fortin. Sorry. Who's
show some respect.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Come on.
Apologies. Just ahead of this, you saw the white car getting shuffled out of the way a little bit by the one Acco sliding its way through. These three all for position. So Olivier Fortin staring at the back of the Asombic esports car, David Serra, and then Daniel Pazdo just up the road. All three of these are for position, and just behind us as well, not too far back, Chris Sever, not much further back, only a few seconds off. So pretty tight fights here at the bottom end, and obviously this is the fight for second position in GTE. How crucial that is. With 140 minutes to go. Ooh, a little bit wide there from David Serra. I think he's going to have a good launch out of that corner there. Maybe not good enough though. The slipstream's being picked up quite nicely, being eaten up by Olivier Fortin. I think he's definitely going for a move into the roller coaster. Which is going to go inside, outside. He's going to go to the inside.
He's going back out.
Oh, he's committing it there. He's fully alongside. I think this is good.
Oh, yeah, he's been let through.
Yeah, David
Serra knows his tyres are wrecked, so he's...
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, so that allows Fortin to chase down the Juices Motorsport Club Porsche. I'm very tired after watching this. This is in a good way. I'm tired.
So you've only been sat here for like 4 hours. It's fine.
It's great. Oh, well, I've got 20 minutes remaining. Let's make it a good 20 minutes.
Is it 20 minutes or is it a bit longer than that?
Well, I actually texted my wife earlier saying, what's 60 times 4? She said it was 240, so yeah. Actually, no, add 3 minutes onto that for the rolling start. So I've got about 25 minutes left before Ewan O'Leary turns up, and he'll take you through to the end. Is it not Ewan?
It is Ewan, but he's showing off half an hour after that.
Ah, okay. Fine. I will stay here until he turns up.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, here comes Fortin.
You can take your 5-minute break. I'm joking.
2 and out.
That's fine.
Fortin right at the back of the Porsche now. Probably going to attempt another move into the roller coaster. Who knows? It looks like they're getting air over that, but they're not getting air. It's just the way things are happening.
Just netcode, mate. It's a shame though. I'd love that. It would be Cadwell Park when they do their
over
British bikes.
Over the mountain.
Yeah,
It's not a mountain. It's Lincolnshire. Come on.
It's an ever so slight climb, but
I used to live in Lincolnshire. There are no mountains.
Oh, here we go. Going to go down the inside again. Going to try and take 2 into the roller coaster. Backs out of it. Doesn't fancy it.
Yeah,
Someone's off the foreground. It's Fair Racing team as well. You're just going to see that. There you go. Off he goes.
Pastor's going to put up a much bigger fight than Sarah did. But they've got traffic behind. LMP2 and Hypercar want to get past.
Which one is that? Is that this? That's not Scragler. It's whoever's taking over that car though. Frederick Swav. Goes by another one. Wave from Esports gathered itself past both of them, which is good for Olivier Fortin. Not so great for Daniel Pazda. Of course, let's spice this up a bit. We've seen a little bit of contact between. Of course, they're not teams with dislike each other. Let's not get that one. Like these two do get along. It's fine. It's all good. But these two, I don't know if it was these two cars. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was the Baldwin car and it was the Fiat Santa Town car, 77. But back at Malaysia, those two did come into contact and throwed everything up in the air. There was stuff thrown all over the place. They hated each other. They were yelling swears. It's not exactly how it went down. Maybe I'm bigging it up a little bit. But yeah, there's been contact between the two teams before.
YouTube drama.
Exactly. You've got to big it up. There's going to be a diss track.
Well, if all those FIFA YouTubers could do it and make a lot of money, we can too.
According to Dan Cowell, who, to be fair, I will take a little bit of credit for, he said, ever so slight climb. It's massive. Fair enough, he has driven the circuit at Cadwell Park, so okay, maybe it is a bit bigger, but yeah, it's a climb. Either way, Olivier Fortin not close enough.
He's got these two LMP2s behind him, so he's probably going to wait for those to go by first. Well, all three of them to go by first before he has a sniff at this Porsche that's in front. Both cars looking very second-hand at the front as well.
Yeah, that top right view, by the way, that's the view I drive from, just to really annoy people. Anyway.
Turn look ahead on, that annoys people as well.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah, but that is pretty grim. To me, anyway. It's not Project Cars, mate.
But here comes Fortin, go for a switchback maybe, no, tried to hook the inside, didn't work. But it just seems every time Fortin wants to have a sniff at this Porsche in front, more traffic turns up and ruins his party.
Here comes the Gira as well. Daniel Almeida, whoa, nearly looking down the inside. Of both. Those three LMP2s, by the way, that went by, you might have thought, oh, maybe they're about. Not about. They're all on various different maps, all over the place. But three wide here, multi-class racing. Ding, tick. Almeida closed both of them. VRC1 have cleared the Juice's car, and now Daniel Pazda's got a bit of breathing room. That's kind of what he wanted. Olivier Fortin's just a little bit further off now.
But we've seen that BMW up the back of the Porsche several times already, so it's he's not totally safe, Daniel Pastor, from the Zancho number 87.
You're never too far back for a lunge. Chris Shepherd against Henning Vollert. Again, this battle continues as Sean Jacobs has been in the pit lane and has come out in fourth position. I'm not going to jinx them anymore, as they're doing very well. Chris Shepherd, though, trying to find his way through, trying to get up into a top 5 position. I think it brought it up before, maybe last round, when one target were running a decent position. It's going to be aggressive from... Whoa, Chris Shepherd, that's aggressive. Oh, it's in the orange zone as well. That could have been a double penalty. Whoa, that's a slide as well. This is mad driving from Chris Shepherd. Showing that touring car bravery of just, I don't really care.
Or his girlfriend has said, my parents aren't home, and he's like, I'm on my way.
Yeah, the thing is though, is that worked for like the 1,000 miles of Sebring that works for, because then you go quicker. It's timed race though, isn't it? It doesn't really matter. You can't finish it quicker than you can finish it, you know what I mean? Also, I'm pretty sure he's a bit too old to have just a girlfriend. Is he married? I'm sure Jeff will tell me at some point. Of course, ex-teammate Jeff Fournier, French boy.
I do love the name Jeff.
It's Jeff.
Jeff.
Shut up, Jeff. Oh, he was looking to go around the outside there. Didn't work out before, and certainly not going to work out from that distance.
I'm going to click back to the Fortin Pastor, but actually Fortin's dropped some time to Sarah. So Fortan's going to need to find some pace and find some pace soonish. Otherwise, he's going to be back down into 4th.
I've noticed the ACR car's just been in the pit lane and has come out. There's a bit of a change of driver in that, but I think it might have been a bit of damage as well. A bit further back, and this was just a longer pit stop. Battle's continuing. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there. Going to go around the outside. A bit of a flash from Chris Shepherd saying, I am coming through as well. He's overcooked it though. Oh, that was the only time I've seen someone overcook it and actually keep it on the road at Oak Tree.
That's
Well
that would have been. His heart has just exploded from beating so fast. I think he almost ruined that race for the Wacko team.
I mean, like 6th place for them would still be a pretty decent result. 5th though, it's a couple of extra points, isn't it?
It is indeed.
And if my maths are right, it's a best position.
Well, we've got Jean Bataille's, Dennis Jordan, Luca Burke and Walter Polesny waiting to join in. So next round of pit stops, we're going to see some more driver swaps. We're going to see Walter Polesny drop into one of the Juice's cars. Dennis Jordan's going to go back into the centre.
Polesny's going to take over from Daniel Pazda.
Ah, really?
Yes.
So is Sancho going to swap Fortan for somebody else?
Well, here's the thing. They won't. Goran Djordjevic it should be swapping out for Mike Epps. We know Mike Epps is rapid. And Olivier Fortin might be going to the end, not sure on that one. Either way, though, the thing is, Sancho's game at the moment, they're going for another 13 minutes. If people are getting ready to take a pit stop now, they're way early. They're way too early. Because, like, the pit stops, we know the GTs, they go an hour, not really much over that. Now, the thing is, if you're taking that, Sancho are pitting bang on the hour every time, if not slightly over, which is fine. Going slightly over, absolutely fine, more than enough. Daniel Paz is going to come around the final corner, not coming to the pit lane yet, so it's still all right. You can't afford to pit like that early anyway, because you can't make that back up in 2 stints.
No,
and that's all that's left.
Ideally, you want the least amount of fuel going towards the end as possible to make the car lighter and therefore faster.
I'd want the most. I'm terrified.
Well, we know what
I think Sancho might be a little bit terrified as well. Bearing in mind how it went last time.
You could sympathise.
Matt Richards is in next for 1 hour.
Okay.
That's an odd call. Why only 1 hour? Sure, he'll get back to me in a moment. Goran Djordjevic. Oh, he's just been passed by Teddy Ukic, who's just unmapping himself. It's fine. I thought he died or something. Died of death disease.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Oh, don't want to get that. Pastor still keeping that lead to Fortan. It's ebbing and flowing, that little gap.
Yeah. It's just different fuel loads, different tyre strats, different everything.
It's 1.3 seconds to Fortan, 1.4 seconds to Fortan. So Fortan then 1.5 seconds ahead of David Serra, who's got 4.3 to Chris Sever. So second, third, fourth, still not a guarantee.
No, indeed not. But I think any position at the moment is a guarantee around the circuit. Looking at the race leader there. Not race leader, is it? Yeah, well, they will be race leader. Arne Schoenvliet is back behind the wheel of that, taken over from Daniel Almeida, and so Alex Seabor's got quite a lot of work to do as he has come into the pit lane. Dennis Jordan will be getting back behind the wheel of the Edge Esports. Yannis Simijic not taken over the wheel of that car today. So Alex Seaborg doing all the work in this mid part in the race, and Dennis Jordan putting in the hours, logging them behind that car. Should set off still in the lead of the race, but defending from Arne Schoenvliet. It's going to be tough.
Well, Schoenvliet's coming through the roller coaster. That Ajira Racing looking pretty banged up on the left-hand side, so I think they should add bonus points for any car that hasn't got any panel damage. Car hasn't changed colour yet, though.
No, we're not going into night time here. There you go. Arne Schoenvliet's going to retake the lead through that. Maybe a slightly longer stop for Dennis Jordan, maybe doing something slightly different on pit strategy. Dennis Jordan, though, takes over the car. Comes out a bit laggy. No, maybe not. I think
No.
he's all right.
No, that's fine.
He lagged about a bit there. Might just be me. Yeah. Right, so yeah, Matt Rich is going to take over for an hour, and then Mike Epps is going to take over for the final hour in that car.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Lethargic. Let's go with lethargic.
Okay.
Pointless. No, I'm joking. No, I understand why they're basically
is-
saying just when I give Mike Epps a little bit less time in the car because, well, he's a touring car driver, isn't he? It's probably been it. No, it's because he's not practiced very much. I'm sure Mike Epps is fine with the pressure, though.
He's a good lad, is Mike.
He is a good lad. He's racing tomorrow in some touring cars. I don't know if I'm allowed to plug it though, so it's fine. It's not for this. It's not an official rFactor 2 thing. It is an rFactor 2 though.
It's just racing touring
And
cars. That's all we
it's
need
for
to know.
charity. You know, Colin Turkington's there. Nine there.
That's going to be good.
It is going to be good. It might be somewhere on a Twitch channel. You know, just Google it. Be on at 1 o'clock proper time.
If you're interested, message me on Discord and I'll find it. There you go. Sorted.
This is the thing with sim racing. It's just there's events all over the place. You don't know when's what's, where's what's going on. But doesn't Arne Sconefleet go off and do the race?
If he has and come back, what a lad!
He did go off.
What the hell?
He did go off and do it.
Is Simoncic doing that?
I think Simracing was doing that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That
But I
might
think he gets an auto invite because he's a big dog.
he's one of the top guys in rFactor 2.
Yeah, Arne Sconefleet had to do the hard work and qualify.
And he's come back to
And
finish
it's
this.
been like, no, I'll slot my way back in, don't worry, lads. I've got this.
It'll be like I've never been away. What were they racing?
No idea, didn't watch because I was too busy.
We're doing this, yeah. We're dedicated to the cause. In what?
I think they were at Nola.
Oh God.
What's wrong with Nola? Nola is absolutely it's a fine circuit when you actually drive it. The thing is, everyone's seen it in like a few clips from IndyCar, and so we got a drop from IndyCar and went, "This is a rubbish circuit." It's absolutely fine. It's actually quite good fun. It's just a little bit boring.
The winner is the person that can find the pit entry.
Oh. Whoa! Down the inside ladders for the parkouts on the GC3 E.
If you switch the E round so it faces the other way, it looks like a 3.
Yeah, indeed. That's is that what branding?
Yeah, and Philip Arcos is in P3, so it's
Exactly.
it's all adding up to the confusion.
He's not in an LMP3 though, so it's okay.
Not this time.
Have you got? Oh yeah, no, Simracing is in the chat. AAA, they died, mate. What happened?
I thought he was asking about the turn number.
3A. Oh, funny.
Yeah, went for a ride at turn 10.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. They got DQ'd because they went down. That's well, why not? Haniel actually, there was a crash, came out of the pit lane, then came up out of turn 10, and basically slid over the grass, and from that point was obviously facing onward traffic, slid over quite far.
Four times on the back of Pasta.
He's got it. He's
P21.
got this.
He's through. P2.
Pasta didn't fight that at all.
He got past.
It would be better if it was a girl, wouldn't it? Got pasta.
He got past. He got past.
Yeah, it doesn't really work with him, does it?
It's like it can Risto capitalise on this, but he can't because he's out, and that's a shame. Hillebrand in the pits again. Can't have been that long, could it?
No, I don't think so. Maybe he's had an issue. It's a good job he's not got a mic on him, isn't it? Oh, could you imagine him around this circuit? I bet Nico's
rear right quarter panel's a bit caved in.
Wasn't a too long stop though, was it?
Jungle Juice?
Yeah, maybe just got bored. Just fancied wanted to go and see his crew.
But pull over, put some petrol in, get a Twix.
Oh, why not?
And a can of Vimto, and he's off on his way.
I think Canastracci's in a pretty strong position. You can see there on the left-hand side. Once again, we'll do it after the GTEs have come and let's stop, because otherwise it just gets too messy. And also, we're expecting quite a few cars in here because we expect the LMP2s to come in. This is the thing with a 4-hour mark, because the 4-hour mark is the only point across the race. This has happened obviously quite a few times at the moment, where you effectively, if you were green, you're pit winners because it accounts for a 40-minute one, an hour, and an hour and 20 minutes, which means at the 4-hour mark, basically everyone's got to come down pit lane.
2 hours remaining after this, then.
Exactly. Which does colour me with a bit of
Canastracci.
Yeah, Canastracci jumps to the pit lane. That's fine, because he can do, like I say, 40 minutes expected in that stint, but it's more like you can get it up to sort of 42 or so. Team Rookie Monsters looking for a second podium of the season as well, doing a pretty stunning job. They were on the podium back in Malaysia. Haven't been on the podium since. I'm just going to double check that in case I get my facts really wrong. Oh no, they weren't. No, correction. Good one, Lewis.
Good save.
Good save. They weren't on the podium in Malaysia. They were 4th, but they were running in the podium positions until Rory McDuff spanned someone off the road, and then came back and then took that podium position from them anyway.
Oh, that's a new verb I'm using. You got spanned off the road. Spanned. British English, I love it.
You just got basically just anything. Just stick a word in it. That's fine.
Oh, what you done that for, you absolute envelope?
Exactly. You literally any word. If you put the right tone with it, any word works.
Any word becomes an insult.
Stop being a complete bicycle. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh.
It works. You just got to have the right tone and the right emphasis behind it.
Anyway, what's happening in the race?
We've still got Chris Shepherd trying to get by one target, and there's almost contact between the two of them once again. I think someone died pretty big time at one point up at, shockingly enough, Oak Tree.
Oh, really?
Because there's just skid marks all over the road. I haven't seen who's died, but I think someone has. We'll look.
Find out in a second.
I don't see anyone getting particularly slow or coming into pit lane, so I don't know. Might be I don't know. We'll find out after the break. We don't have breaks.
I haven't got a break.
Let's go around and play the track guide for 2 minutes. Either way, I'm joking. Chris Shepherd, he's not got the drive off of... it might have been the Asombic car, actually. It doesn't have the drive, though, off of Oak Tree to get anywhere near the one target car. He can't get by because of it. It's the one bit that he's really struggling in.
It's a corner where you've got to carry so much speed into it and at the same time out of it to maximise the top speed at the end of that straight, and it's so hard to do. Because before doing commentary for VLMC, I took the number 6. There we go.
There you go.
In the pit lane. I took the 67 Zancho Aston Martin round, and I was 3 seconds off Dan Finney's pace. It is a very, very hard track to get right.
Well, it's one of those tracks with a lot of difficult corners, and from that, like it can be quite fun. It can be quite challenging. I kind of feel like it's one of those ones that's sort of in between. It's not too difficult, but it's not.
Depends on the car you're driving.
Again, like that is it. And not only car, the other very important factor, setup. Right? If you get a setup that's hooked up, it's a beautiful track. If you get a setup where it's a pig to drive in like medium speed corners, you are going to have a horrible time here because it's just not going to be fun.
No.
Whereas
Shepherd nearly overcooking it into the right-hander left-hander before Oak Tree.
Just Shepherd things, mate.
I'll tell you what is fun to drive around here: V8 supercars.
Oh yeah. Do you know Chris Shepherd? This is not a fan thing, by the way. Chris Shepherd's is my background on my computer. Fun fact. It's where I overtook him for the lead at Le Mans.
I've got the BMW M8 on mine, the Zancho one, because it was a nice screenshot that I took, so I'm using it.
Yeah, well, why not? One target's still in the pit lane.
Yeah, Volt's been there for Well, it's a short lap, isn't it?
It's 110 seconds. I wonder if they took a bit of damage repair in that as well, because it should be about 90 seconds.
Yeah, so now he's lost a lap to Shepherd, and he's been overtaken by Lechef.
Not to be confused with that Bond villain.
It's a short lap rather than he's having a long pit stop.
Yeah, well, could you imagine if he went to Portland?
Lose
He's gone
6
3
laps
laps down in that pit stop. Dimitri Butcher in the pit lane as well, VRC1. Dropping in for third to last stop for them.
We've got San Andreas, Pastor, Baldwin, Sever, Duna, and Stoltzer all in as well.
It's GT pit time.
GTE.
GT, just GT, mate.
Just GT, yeah, because we've got Jukic, Polesny, Barbosa, Drury, Kirali, Berenger, Caruso, Jaeger, Gonzalez, Jakubovic, Richards, and Stocci all standing by.
Polesny takes over from Pastor. Kevin Jaeger takes over in the Black Hawk kart. While Barbosa takes over from Adam Baldwin.
Fortan in. So he's going to hand over to Richards.
Wrong one.
Wrong one.
You should know your team, man. You're part of that team. Come on.
I'm new.
There isn't anyone to take over from Olivier Fortin. Olivier Fortin, I think, is going to the end.
Olivier Fortin's just doing Fortin things. So
just Canadian things.
So Matt will be taking over from Goran. There we go. Right, I've saved myself.
It's fine.
It's fine. Ed won't be listening. He's always listening.
I don't know how I remember all this garbage. Hashtag VEC to Nords. How does Chris Shepherd out.
What?
Chris Shepherd's out.
So he is.
It says second disconnect for that team, is it?
Let's have a look. Scroll the other way, you idiot. It's a DNF, so yeah, it looks like a disco.
I'm just going to look now. Yeah, just... Oh my god, the second one for that car. That's... I mean... Oh, Miko Barkley, you poor man, sat there on the side watching this unfold, and obviously Boa Milan and Chris Shepherd all did a pretty good job. 2 disconnections in this one. Olivier
Fortin!
Is that another disconnection?
No. He got passed by Pastor as well.
He was in the box. I think he just got another disconnect. I think he's got a disconnection. That's 2 disconnections.
Jordovic in from the lead.
I think that was... yeah, it was just a disconnection. Left the pit box, got going. Disconnection. That's rough.
Not good news. But they will be able to join back in, so they'll have lost so much time.
They can still get something, yeah. It's just not pretty. It is what it's kind of one of those things. I mean, like I don't want to say it is one of those things. It is rough. But I mean, it's happened now. You can't do anything about it now. You just need to get on with it. Rejoin, get as many points as you can. Matt Richards there taking over from Goran Djordjevic, and we'll head over to the lead of the race for the number 97, looking for their maiden victory in the Virtual Endurance Championships Division 1. I think. It's definitely this season anyway.
What am I looking at? I don't know. That's what I want. I need to change my push to talk from control to something else because it's not letting me click on anything.
Oh, I see. That's why my one's on my wheel, because it's a key that doesn't make any noise. Because unfortunately, mechanical keyboards, make an awful lot of noise.
Mine doesn't. You just got to have a deft touch.
No, you don't. You're literally supposed to slam the key. It's the
like that. Or just have your microphone far away from your keyboard, like I do.
Right, it is a good point. probably not spelt the way that it's just been spelt to me, but yes, it is time for the Wowly update. Right, Najira, number 9, leading the way from Edge Esports on the Scone Fleet, back behind the wheel of that one, currently leading by 7.5 seconds over the Edge Esports car. So isn't that nice? Cool. That's for Parkos, Speedy Mite, now running in 3rd and 4th after Race Clutch had an issue earlier. Dropped back. They've now gone up into 5th position. One target had a long stop, and so they're now in 6th place. And of course, Chris Shepherd suffering a disconnect and now down to 7th position. Maybe able to rejoin, maybe able to get some points on the board, but that is a pretty rough one. ACR will probably move up another position up into 7th, and Chris Shepherd down to 8th. And then, of course, the Singularity and the Drillers that won't score any points, rounding out the top 10. And LMP2. I believe it's still. Oh, it's going to be. There you go. Yeah, it is. Butler Power Motorsports leading the way, just about from Matt Beavis, who's behind the wheel of the Wave Free Esports car, and then Henry Drury putting in a very solid effort for Team Rookie Monsters, looking for their maiden podium of season 12. Nicholas Hillebrand maybe iron up a little bank job and try and steal that one from them. Roman Yakubovic from VRC1 rounds out the top 5. Enzo Fazzi for Singularity. In that 6th position, 4 laps down, just circulating, just trying to get some points on the board, seeing if anyone else drops out of this thing. And I'm sure those kind of points will be pretty well rewarded and well deserved, at least to keep this championship nice and close. Paul Holt for Fair Racing Team FRT, they've had issues all day. Now running in 7th position, same with Team RGPL. The other Wave Free Esports was looking strong earlier. Unfortunately, everything's really fallen apart on that one, and looking to get some decent points on the board, running very far back down in the championship in LMP2. And Undercover Sim Racing rounding out the top 10 in GTE, though. We've got Zancho leading the way. It could have been 2, but unfortunately not anymore. Matt Richards, the one behind that, Mike Epps, yet to take over that vehicle and take them to the end of the race with only 2 hours to go. Juices Motorsports Club number 73 in 2nd, and rounding out the podium, it's still Sombic Esports. What a fantastic drive they are putting on. Same with Blackhawk as well in that 4th position. While Barbosa behind the wheel of the 74, taking over from Adam Baldwin. Rounding out that top 5 position, that's World of Sim Racing. Witchwood, the 2 Corvettes, 6th and 7th. Stocky for Drive Game Seat Racing, doing a pretty decent job. Tim Roberts moved up a position courtesy of Olivier Fortin's disconnection, who rounds out the top 10, will probably drop out of the top 10.
He's 13th.
Has rejoined the game. And yeah, you're quite right. He is in 13th position. Rejoin the game and back out. There is the rest of you runners. So a reminder that Luca Burke for Speedy Mike will move up now into the points playing position, into 10th position. Sim Racing for Holland will move up into 11th. And Singularity will move up into 12th position. So at this rate, the 2 main championship rivals in GTE won't be scoring a single point here at Virginia, which is crazy. Absolutely mad. Team Virtual Racing, Blackhawk, and Team RGPL round out the runners, and then, of course, Satellite and Zancho's number 77. Those 2 that are out of the race. But, yeah, another rundown, and it's been pretty mad.
It just keeps throwing up twists and turns every which way, doesn't it? We think, oh, this team's going to be doing very well, and they've had issues. Oh, this team's going to be doing and they've stacked it at Oak Tree. Oh, this team's doing pretty well, and they've been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it's I can only imagine what's going on in the individual camps for these issues that are happening to some of the drivers. But fair play to Olivier. He's got back out there because anything can happen over the next sort of just under 2 hours.
Wow. Whilst we're discussing some Zancho bits and bobs, we've got, of course, our daily interview with Mr. Ed Trevelyan Johnson. Can you drag him up here? Because of course I can't. Because my computer hates me with all of its passion.
Can't Ed do it himself?
Yeah, he can do, but he won't.
How do I do it?
He's a good boy. He might just be right back. It's fine.
Right. Okay. I don't want to click on anything in case I accidentally join their channel.
He has got to be right back, so we will grab him.
Right, we'll grab him when we can.
We'll grab him when he's back. If not, I'll just tell him to move himself up. It's fine.
Ed knows what to do.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Egg administrator.
I don't know why that's funny.
It is. It is I think it's the
That
best
is
one.
that's a creative one. I like it.
I think Administrator is the best one, and also if you add egg into it, it's just much better. Obviously, one of their most recent signings, Luca D'Amelio, who conveniently also drives for Singularity in a different series, the other official F2 series, Formula Sim Racing. Drives for Singularity over there, and then does some bits for Sancho as well. It's mad stuff, mad times. But he literally will be obviously playing Star Citizen, of course. Again, one of the requirements of being a Sancho driver, you must have Star Citizen. He just goes, egg. Hey, egg. And that's all he does. He doesn't want any information, he just wanted to say, hey, egg. Right. I think he's back. Do you want to try and drag him?
How do I do that?
Just click and hold it. There we go.
Oh, there we are. Right.
There we go. Right, nice.
I did
right.
it. I did
Good
it.
boy. Well done. You put on your big boy pants. Cool.
I didn't.
So, Ed, hello, welcome. I'm assuming you've not really focused too much on the race, considering you've been a bit of a busy boy.
Not too much, no.
Obviously, you can see the position that at least one of your cars is in, being a pretty good one. Let's focus on the positives at the moment. That car, second race in a row, it's leading laps here and looking pretty strong.
Yes. I suppose the less that car is talked about, the more comfortable I'll feel. It was just a shame. I've just been catching up with the race in the last 20 minutes or so to see how it's been going, and you know, like it seems like Singularity have dropped back, which could have meant a good points fall for the 87. So that disconnect was very unwelcome. So we'll see if the Singularity car doesn't make any points. We'll see how the championship goes in at Le Mans. But yeah, bit gutted about that. But I don't want to say anything about the 97. It's the only car that hasn't won a race of ours this season so far. So I know how they would feel about getting it by now.
Yeah, obviously bitterly close a month ago. Yeah. So it would be nice to at least get something from the States.
Yeah, and you know, well, there are drivers in that car who have worked bloody hard, and have been so close. I think particularly Goran deserves a win in the VEC finally. Oh god, I've just seen.
Don't look. It's Matt. It is your race leader. Don't worry.
Jolly good. Yeah. Matt needs to sort his life out. Yeah, no, I mean, particularly Goran, and I think Matt's also been frustrated. Dan has as well, and they all deserve it. And hopefully, Mike will be getting in the car at some point in this race. And he's just come over from the other race that I'm sure people might have been aware of, where he's done rather well. He was the best pros in that.
No spoilers.
He was sixth, and that's how good the sim racing guys are. If Mike was the best of the pros, so yeah, maybe Mike in that car. But yeah, I don't even want to talk to the people in that car. I just want the whole thing to be over, so that we can get something out of the rest of the season. It's been a pretty torrid affair for the last few races for us.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously the disconnect is probably not the best thing, but prior to that, you were running in very strong position heading into Le Mans. That's surely bringing a little bit of confidence into it, especially if you can maybe score a few decent. No,
because the aero package is different at Le Mans, so
okay, fair enough.
We need to work out where we sit with that. Yeah, no, we just had a bit of a regroup earlier this week, trying to work out what we could do to improve, because there were things that were going wrong. There were too many cases, let's say that, of bad luck, and when so many happen, you kind of start thinking it can't be bad luck. So yeah, tried to motivate the guys a bit, tried to change a few things around, and maybe it's working. I mean, all three cars looked good in this race, and it seems to have been a bit of a lottery so far. I heard pretty awful things happen to Felix earlier in the race, which I'm obviously unhappy about because he hasn't been able to race for a couple of races. But yep, very nice to see at least one car up near the front.
Hopefully it will begin a bit of a renaissance for the team. Of course, you've still got VLMC to look
A
forward
renaissance.
to. Yeah, exactly. It's all the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got VLMC to look forward to.
Yeah, got a new car in that.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah, you do.
fingers crossed.
I've
And,
already submitted it. It's fine. It's all good.
Well, yeah, and you're racing in it.
Yeah.
You're racing with the other man in this commentary.
Yeah, no, we've discussed it earlier, so don't worry.
Yeah, we have discussed it. We are all very happy that you're racing Lady and down in that race.
Yeah, even though it's strategically a really bad call all the time.
If it makes you feel if it makes you feel any better, Ed, Olivier's now just 1.4 behind Matteo Caruso.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hope he behaves. we don't want any funny business going on. We don't want any drama where Olivier might nudge Singularity or something like that. No, I mean, like if Singularity get the championship at the end of all of this, then they deserve it. Obviously, they've done a pretty epic job this season. But a lot of people said that their car has been a bit disadvantaged early in the season. It's a point of contention, and I certainly don't think we think that too much. I think it's gone slightly the other way, but I think that you can't take away anything from what Singularity have done. They've been brilliant all season.
Yeah, they've put into decent effort, but I mean, that's the thing of a championship. It ebbs and flows, and you can never really rule out anything of what happens at Le Mans. You have a bad round there, that's it. Championship's in the bin, and you never know which way that can go. And that's you've got a crazy round like this. I'm sure there'll be some tempers flared afterwards between some teams, and I'm sure some of that will get carried into Le Mans. I'm just, by the way, looking at, as was pointed out, Olivier Fortin was on the back of Matteo Caruso going in towards Horseshoe. It's for 30th position overall. He's diving down the inside and should be nicely up alongside. I think Matteo Caruso is going to fight that. There's close to contact, but not quite. And Olivier Fortin is going to gain himself a position there. So there you go, through with no contact as well.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a penalty going into Le Mans.
Well, it always throughout these seasons you're kind of you're playing top trumps between your drivers and theirs, and I don't think I've seen Olivier properly racing Matteo before, and I know Matteo is pretty hot stuff in a car, so Olivier probably had newer tyres maybe, I don't know, but yeah, very nice to hear that was a safe pass.
I wouldn't be able to tell you about the new tyres. I think I've not been paying that much attention.
You've only been watching most of the race.
Oh, yeah, no, I missed the first outlet. Right?
Oh, I'm just seeing that pass now.
It was brave.
It was pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, there was not much between them. You could have even fit down in there, and he's probably the fittest person in your team.
Yeah, probably. Certainly the smallest, youngest.
Yeah, how does that make you feel, though? That
Oh, he's not the youngest, actually. Luca is. Oh, I mean, he might not be next season.
Noted.
Has Dan just been sacked on live stream?
No.
No.
I know exactly what he meant. letting it slip. It's all right. I already spoke about.
We might have a sleeper car in another class, in a manner of speaking.
Maybe. It's not going very well for them, though, is it?
I haven't had too much. Well, God, the gaps in hypercar are pretty. I mean, other classes are quite big, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes. There's been a bit of attrition there in the hypercars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would like to be a hypercar team in this track. But I'm very happy to see a Jira leading. Good for them.
Will they hold that lead, though? That's the question. Obviously, you're going to have to watch and find out, aren't you?
Well, it's Edge playing their strategy tricks as per usual. So.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, they did take the lead from Jira earlier, but they've got to.
Have you got a rough idea of where they're going to pop out at the end?
Not per se. I think they're good on fuel because they had a longer stop than Ajira earlier, like by quite a way. Oh, Edge Esports nearly got squeezed off. You saw that in the background. Nearly got squeezed off the road. But I think they've definitely got a shorter stop to come because not only did they pit later than Ajira, they also pitted for a much shorter period of time.
I just wanted to make a note in case you hadn't clocked it yet, that you might be seeing an influx of incredibly fast drivers getting into cars about now.
Yeah, no, I did bring it up.
Yeah.
That we've obviously the other things ended, and well, Arnest Gameplay's already back in the car.
Oh, very good.
See, oh, that race clutch has been off.
So, as far as hypercar stints go, that could be him to the end then.
No, not quite. He's got to make another stop, for at least for fuel.
Okay.
Because hypercar stints hour and 20 minutes.
Hour and 20, yeah.
This is it, race strategy, guys. That's what it's all about. To be fair, like VEC race strategy, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's you know, it's simplified.
You're on top of it.
It's 40 minutes for
You should
LMP2s,
be,
it's
as
an
a
hour for
commentator.
GTEs, and it's an hour and 20 minutes for LMP2. I don't have a notepad or anything to write on. I've got 3 screens, but they're all showing the same thing at the moment. They're all just showing the broadcast.
Got 3 months as comfortable.
He's got
Sure.
Notepad on his computer.
No, it's not the same, mate. I need. Can someone donate me?
Get one off Amazon.
No. That means I've got to open up a web browser and pay money. 2 things I'm not very good at doing. The only thing I'm worse at doing is screen sharing. Right, Ed?
Well, you have funny sensibility about that. I don't know. Yeah, sure. I will leave you because I feel like I'm disrupting the broadcast now.
That's all good, but fair enough.
I just want to say before I go, Aiden, live in the country.
I knew he was going
Jim
to
is
say.
chapters. Lots of
I was so tempted to earlier.
Oh, he's so banned from my Discord.
You should make a gulag and stick him in it. See how he feels.
Yeah, I might do. But the thing is, you know, he can whatever I can do, he can do better. So he's got to play that.
What could he do? What could he do to you? You know, ban you from the SRC Discord, get you fired from this.
Many things. He can do many things.
I see. Currently looking at Olivier Fortin. Gap to the leader, pretty big. 348 seconds, that's over 5 minutes. Gap to the next car, 77 seconds. I think them getting a point on the board is going to be a pretty tough call. But what I would say then is that at least they're in a position where they're ahead of Singularity, that if 2 people were to fall off, Singularity aren't gaining a point, they are.
No.
Right, so I think that's put them in a good position. Potentially, anyway. Well, we'll see how that one unfolds. Of course, it's been a completely mad race. That race clutch car, I'm assuming it's had damage because it's still in the pit lane. No, it's handed over to Tony Miller. Mellor's back behind the wheel.
Chris Shepherd's retired a long time ago, but he's still slowly sliding down the standings. So he's sort of throwing a spanner in the works there, all of that at the minute. But just seeing what else is going on, to be honest.
Well, whilst you are seeing what else is going on, to be honest.
Great segue.
Indeed. Thank you. We are going to introduce the commentator because yes, Aiden, you're getting old, smelly, you need a shower, and you need to get out of the comments booth, yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sticking the place out. You'll be able to turn the aircon back on in a second.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. Of course, joining us for the final hour and a half, as you did for the final hour, Sebring, Ewan O'Leary. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good evening.
You've walked into quite a mess.
I've been watching along. It's been messy, but I actually quite enjoyed it, to be honest. It's been a good race.
It's been mad. I don't know if Aiden can fill you in any of the gaps because my brain's gone toast. It's been
I've
mad.
been doing this for 4 hours. My brain is scrambled.
Yeah, I remember doing Interlagos 8 hours straight. That
You chose to do that.
Less than actually no commentators. But I didn't have any commentators calling it, so it wasn't.
Sorry
really
about
me. I filled in. I did what I had to do, Aiden.
Right. Okay.
That's right.
Well, Arnold Schoenfeld's got a 12.5-second gap to Dennis Jordan, who is therefore a minute and 36 ahead of Lazarus Filiparkos. So we've only got the top 3 on the same lap right now.
DJ. I like that video, by the way. That's on there.
Yeah. So now you know where we get the turn.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was a quality video. I understand now. There we are, riding on board with someone. I'm assuming that is. Oh, so it's Arno. I was gonna say I think it's DJ, but I don't recognise drivers by their helmets because I'm pretty sure no one makes them. Do you have a driver helmet, Aiden?
No, not a real one.
No. Well, no, me neither. Good lord, no.
I've got a iRacing one, but that's it.
Oh, that doesn't count.
No.
I've got one, but I just I can't bother making anymore. I'm not a helmet designer. Riding on board here with Arne Schoenfeldt in a pretty decent position. Just so you are fully aware, I don't know if you overheard the interview between myself and Ed Ewan, but we're not 100% sure what's happening between the top 2 on strategy. Of course, they're 10 seconds apart, but Arne Schoenfeldt pitted. Right, apologies for that. Mid-sentence as well. Nice one. We are back, don't worry. Just getting everything ready for that final hour or so. Of course, discussing that race strategy, this car that we're riding on board with Arne Schoenfeldt, your current race leader by just over 10, or just under 10 seconds now, running on the previous stop, pitted earlier than Edge Sports, and Edge Sports were stationary for longer as well. So realistically from that, what we can take is that Edge Sports potentially could be stopped for a shorter period of time on that final stop. Whether they're taking tyres or not as well is a big old question mark. So there's plenty of questions up in the air, so lots to answer.
And we know that Edge Esports like the old strategy play. We've seen it before, and we probably see it again, to be honest. It seems like a good opportunity for them to try something, and they might well do. Not really sure. We're just going to have to wait to see how it plays out. We're pretty sure that they're both going to be doing one stop from here, though, aren't we? Edge Esports and Enduro. Pretty sure it's a one stop from here.
Yeah, it should be. I don't unless someone makes a mistake. Should be all good. I don't know if Aiden's got anything else to add on that one. He's obviously a strategical mastermind.
I most certainly am not. I think it's going to be touch and go right towards the end. Who's going to be able to carry the least amount of fuel and the freshest tyres? I think towards the end of this one. But I'm gonna shoot off, carry on watching, and let Ewan and Lewis take you towards the end over the next hour and a half or so. So thank you very much for having me, and I'll see you all for Le Mans in 2 months' time. It's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, well, thank you, Aidan. I'll see you in a couple of weeks when we both get to crash a car around Le Mans for a bit anyway in the virtual Le Mans Cup series, whatever it is. What is it? Is it VLMC, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice one. Cool. Good. Right, well, enjoy.
I will do. Put some food on. Watch the race. It's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Well, that's Aiden gone. That's fine. We can clean up this.
Get with him.
This commentary booth. Yeah,
I'm still here.
Damn. Right. I think this battle is definitely going to come down to the final few laps between those top two. Of course, the other categories as well. Been major instance and upsets all over the place. It's been absolutely crazy. Yeah.
I'm hoping it's going to come down to the final couple of laps. It'll be very exciting. Seeing a battle go through the traffic, and we've seen lots of battles go through the traffic already. Some of them have ended a little bit worse than others, but it's been good racing so far. I've enjoyed it, as I said. It's been very traffic heavy. I'm pretty sure this is the shortest track in terms of lap time that we've going to this season. I'm pretty sure. Right, I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe Sao Paulo. Maybe it's a bit shorter, but I'd say that this circuit's a bit more difficult to negotiate traffic on than Sao Paulo. You've got these tricky SS sections where you really can't pass very easily, and yeah, we've seen a lot more incidents in this race than we normally would in a standard virtual endurance championship race.
It's the nature of the circuit. It's quite a tricky beast to master. It's very winding. It's very narrow at times. To be honest, it's a bit of a pain. But I mean, it's a bit of fun though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it was a bit of a one-off. We've only come to Virginia International Raceway once before. That was all the way back in the very first season. So it's been a while, and it's good to be back on this circuit again. I personally quite like it. I think it's a bit a nightmare to drive. As you said, I can't drive it at all. I'm terrible at it, but it's good fun to try and get the hang of. And we've seen some good racing. We're going to see a good finale to this race as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Should be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what your experiences as a driver in general.
Limited.
Limited. Okay. Of course, this track is probably one of the more complex that we go to. Like, sorry, controversial opinion. Le Mans, not the most complicated circuit. It's a few corners into a big long straight, into a chicane, into a big long straight, into a chicane, into a big long straight with a kink, into a right-hander with a big long straight following it, into a couple of corners with quite a long straight. And then some cool corners, and then repeat. Right? I know that's a controversial opinion. It's still very exciting. I'm not saying that I hate it. I'm just saying that it's not complicated. Whereas this track, there's so many corners around here. It's so tricky and so mad. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, by the way, it's 7 seconds between Dennis Jordan and Larsham. It's going It's coming down.
It's coming down. 2 seconds on the last lap. Jordan took out of Schumfleet. Seems to have stabilised a little bit on this lap. We'll see what it is when they come across the line this time to set their lap times. But what I was going to say is that one of the best overtaking opportunities is a bit of a curve, really. If you look at the roller coaster section, you'd say that's one of the best overtaking opportunities. Long straight into a 90-degree right-hander. You're thinking, yeah, this is great, but you've got that tiny left-hand kink just beforehand, and it makes things very difficult to go side by side. We've seen accidents there in multiple races, both in real life and sims. In this race, we've seen accidents there. A little bit of contact can send you shooting over the grass, and it takes you forever to get back on the circuit. So it's certainly a difficult track to get the hang of. And then you've got the what I'd call deceptive turn 1, the horseshoe. It's a hairpin. You're thinking nice and simple hairpin, but it kind of drags on for a little bit longer than you're expected. Kind of cuts back on itself really, and goes towards the pit lane if you look at the track map geographically. And yeah, it's kind of strange. You can often end yourself if you overcook it a little bit on the left-hand side somehow. I've done that before, thinking it's just a normal hairpin. Get your tyres caught on the grass and you can go off any which way really. It's barriers aren't very close, but the grass is just endless, and you can spend forever off the road when you get it wrong around here.
Yeah, it's the grass. The thing is, when you're going off here, because it's a high-speed circuit, and Jordi probably not watching anymore, but still, we saw him go off in the Singularity, running in second position very, very early in the race. Going into the SS section, had massive screen freeze, and went off at high speed. There is nothing you can do. It is just like you're gone. Like, rest in peace. You're done, sir. And normally the runoff here is you meet a wall. The problem with grass as a runoff is it's very, very slippery naturally. It's just a bit a bit all over the place. We're currently looking at one of the Juices cars. That's the one that's driven by Wojciech Polesny. The one that's in third position, that's chasing down second position in class. Ilias Fernandez is just up the road. There's the VRC1 car that's currently fourth. That one, is that for position directly ahead? I think it might well be. Roman Yakubovic, it is for position. Heike Kolbenbach directly ahead. That there for third place.
Yeah, they're very close indeed. That's a good recovery actually from those guys at Butler Powell, the 28. They had an issue earlier on in the race, I think, or was it an issue? I can't really remember, to be honest. So lots happened. It's hard to tell who's had an issue and who hasn't. But Heiko Kolbenbach was using that definitely on an alternate strategy earlier on in the race. It'll be interesting to see if they continue on with those types of strategies, because that's exactly the kind of thing that could win you this race in the end. It looks like Kolbenbach has just got past maybe there Yakubovic as well, as they come out of Oak Tree now. They're on the back straight, battling over third position in class, 10th overall, and yeah, I believe they just changed positions on that in that final couple of sections of corners there.
Potentially, I didn't catch it myself, I'm afraid, because I'm just not paying attention. Yeah, some positions do really close up. This is the thing that we've noticed with the Motion Championship over the season, is that towards the end of the race, there's always a battle for position towards the end of the race. It doesn't spread out to the point where, oh, yeah, no, there's no battles. There's always something going on. It's absolutely madness. Of course, we had last lap battles. I think we've had a last sort of like, in the last maybe 5-10 laps, a change for the race lead in at least one category pretty much every time, or at least a very close battle over all of the races this season so far in the virtual endurance group. It's been absolutely madness. Of course, this 12th season of the virtual endurance championship. It's been a good run that we've had, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more.
I'm hoping.
You'd hope.
Yeah, you'd hope so. But yeah, I'd go along with that actually. I think there has been a change for a major position in the last 5 laps or so. We saw it last race at Sebring, the 1,000 miles of Sebring. In case you weren't with us, the lead in GTE changed on the very last lap when the 97, I think it was the 97 Zancho BMW had to pit for a splash of fuel, because it was Goran Djordjevic driving at the time, and he had to pit on the very last lap for a fuel stop, and that absolutely handed the win to the number 60 Singularity Racing car, and they have since taken a commanding lead. I wouldn't say commanding actually, it's only 11 points, but they have taken the lead in the team's championship, in the standings. So it's those little moments like that, those little lead changes. You're thinking one position lost on the last lap of a race might not make the difference by the end of the championship, but it really is making a difference here. Only 11 points, and going into Le Mans, if there's a similar gap to something like 11 points from first to second, then it really will be an exciting Le Mans. It's going to be exciting anyway, but to throw a championship in there as well, this is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the fun. You know, we all want that nice close championship. And I think that's what we're going to get as everything closes up for one more round of the season. Of course, we've got an hour and 20 minutes here, and then 24 left in the calendar. Obviously, the biggest race of the season, the 24-hour Le Mans, not until the 6th of June. So plenty of time for the teams to prepare and also take a breather. I think with everything that's happening in sim racing at the moment, I think some of these teams might need to take a bit of a breather and think, whew, it's been a lot. Let's get a few more races out of our system. Let's take a little bit of a break, and then let's really hammer it at Le Mans and try and net ourselves a championship. Because at the moment, all the championships are getting very, very close. We spoke about LMHC at the moment. If they finish the way they do, you know, however that seems, they're available to pit for their last time. As we've got the LMP2s pitting for the second to last time at the moment. Roman Yakubovic from VRC1 in the pit lane at the moment. For that lot though, if Arne Schoenfleet wins this race, if Dennis Jordan, if Edge Esports finishes second, then there is 1 point between the championship leaders AAA and Edge Esports, and there is a further, I think, 8 points back from them to Azura. It is so tight at the top of the standings.
8 points between 3 teams. So think about that. 7 rounds. Just think about how many hours that's going to be. I'm not going to do the maths now because it's just a ridiculous amount of hours, really, to be that close. 8 points after all this fighting, and obviously the issues for AAA today, getting disqualified with Hani Al Sabti at the wheel very early on, or a couple of hours into the race maybe. So it is a very interesting championship. Obviously, it's just been made more interesting by that disqualification, as I just mentioned, with Al Sabti. Sorry for reminding AAA Esports guys of that, but
it's fine. They're not very nice anyway. No, I'm joking.
Wow.
I'm joking.
That was brutal. That was.
I'm joking.
But yes, 8 points separating the top 3. This is going to be an insane Le Mans. You're going to have the prestige of winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans, that on the side of a championship battle as well. I'm really looking forward to it. It should be amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna have good fun. Obviously, the preparation's already begun on our end. We've already been organising what commentators we can get. I'm sure teams are already organising who's doing what in the car, and obviously an event of that scale, a lot of preparation goes into it, so you need to make sure it goes right. It's where every little mistake just hurts that so much more because of all the prep that goes into it. We're currently looking at Vojta Pelesny, who is chasing down Elias Fernandez for 3rd position. Currently is where Pelesny's in. Currently, there you go. Thanks Jimmy. 2nd position, Elias Fernandez at Sombic Esports. I am so impressed by that team today. Sombic Esports have done an incredible job. Thus far, this season, that number 55 car has netted a grand total, a big old whopping goose egg. 0 points. Nothing. Nada.
Yeah,
how much would a
donut.
podium mean? Yeah, how much would a podium mean at this point in the season as the undercover car tries to get around the outside of the tree? Not the best move.
It would probably, it's a bit of a cliche, but it probably really would be a win for them. Getting even anywhere near in the top 5 is probably a fantastic result for them. No disrespect to them either. I'm sure they've had their more than their fair share of bad luck, and so I haven't following them closely. I can't remember what's happened to them in the particular races, but I'm sure that they've had their fair share of bad luck, and for them to finally be getting their reward now for being there each season, keeping on trying, turning up, keeping to practicing each week, even though it's not going well, each month. Sorry, even though it's not going well. That really shows commitment for them, and it will be great to see them on the podium if they can manage it at the end of this race.
Absolutely, they've got a bit of work. Obviously, if Pelesny gets by, they're still on the podium, but not too far back from that. You've got Kevin Yeager for Black Hawk Racing, who's really not that far behind in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, just getting some points aboard is important. I've brought this up before on a broadcast, but not for a while, as Pelesny's off way wide. There we go. But the thing is, with GTE, it's, in my opinion, it's the hardest category to score points in because it's the biggest category. And the thing is if you get into that category, if you really look at it, the strength of field in it is still actually quite high. Like it is a perfectly decent, very strong field. It's a field that I wouldn't want to mess with. Let's be honest. Like it is a strong field. And because of that, you've got almost twice as many cars as any other category. So the likes of in hypercars, for the most part, like quite a lot of times we just pick up 2 retirements right every event. It's very possible. So realistically, to score a point, you need to finish, right? And yeah, sometimes that can be a little bit harder than maybe it sounds, but it's not a massive task. Just finishing a race, anyone can finish a race, but to actually beat 10 people to get to a point is a lot harder. I mean, that's exactly a really stupid point to make. It's so obvious, but you know what?
Yeah, you could just sit in the pits all day and then come out for the last lap and grab your points if you were really in one of those classes, the prototype classes. But let's just looking at the GTE order right now. We've still got 14 cars running. Martin Ulrich is last out there. He's 2 laps behind everybody else. He's still going, but he's not going to get any points. Whereas in hypercars, the Avid Chronic Racing Day the Avid Chronic Racing number 14 haven't had a very good day, but they're still going to pick up 6 points for finishing the race, even though they're 5 laps down. That is the difference between Hypercar, LMP2 and the GTE, and it's actually a really good point that I would go along with that. GTE is probably the hardest championship to win.
Yeah, because there's so much. If you make a mistake, if you go wrong, you don't gain a couple of points to sort of like save it. That's it. You're out of the points. There's nothing. Take for example Chris Shepherd. If Chris Shepherd in that one Echo car was currently driving around, sorry, I just absolutely belted my microphone there. If they were still circulating, they're in 8th position. They would still score points. Now maybe they don't want to score 4 points. Like fair enough. I can't disagree. That's been a pretty hard day as the yellow flags come out of sector 3. Not sure what for. It's been a pretty rough day. As it comes out again.
Oh, GPL.
Oh, is that what it is? Which one? The GTE? Or...
Yeah, number
okay.
98. It's ZNX Schmarder off at the roller coaster section, but he's on the road again and he's fine.
And he is respectfully quite last.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, there's 15 runners. I didn't even see him down
No,
there. There's 15.
No.
There's 15 of them. So there you go. It's even more people. There you go.
Yeah, he is currently 12 laps down on the next dude. Not really gone the way of RGP. I'm pretty sure they qualified quite high as well. Pretty sure they qualified top 5. I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, I don't have any memory of the start of the race because
You weren't there.
I wasn't there, and also I'm not very good at this. So no, I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure they definitely qualified well.
Yeah, they had I think they had a 600-second repair early on and were down on top speed ever since. So I think they've had a pretty rough day.
Yeah, here we see not what you've got on the bottom right. Don't panic, ladies and gentlemen. No, those are not the cars. Jose Berenguer though is currently staring down the back of Juan Barbosa. This is the battle for 5th position. You can see it on your timing on the left-hand side. There's 3 tenths between the two of these two. Currently running 5th and 6th place, but that Corvette, that mighty American Corvette, looking to score an extra couple of points whilst it's on home soil before we jet off to Circuit de la Sarthe, etc. You know, well, I've not been there, so you know I can sort of just dismiss the French side of it. It's all right. I'm told to go. It's apparently very nice.
Yeah, well, it probably is, to be honest, but they have it. They're coming through the turn 10, 9 and 10 section now, just coming down towards the oak tree. Bit of traffic to deal with, of course. There always is around here. Just a car just sandwiching itself between the two of them as he makes his way through. Not sure who that is, but it's just split up the battle for momentarily. About 6 tenths of a second between João Barbosa and Jose Berenguer in the world of Sim Racing 51. Battling over 5th position right now.
Yeah, indeed. I will just correct us, by the way. The ACR had a disconnect earlier, so that's what happened to them. That's why they're a bit further down. Still not the day they wanted, but they're still going to pick up a few points. And Racecart, who also had a disconnect in 6th position, just ahead. So those two, they're a fair distance apart, but you know we're approaching that final hour mark. We're approaching it potentially the final pit stops pretty sharpish. But of course, our hourly update, which we do slightly after the hour because GTs.
Yeah, they're kind of annoying like that. It's,
Yeah, I know.
We never. It's so rude to pit on the hour, really.
Yeah, you just can't do an update. It's good. So we've got to wait.
Yeah.
And it's
But,
not fun doing it before the pit stop. Because what good is that?
Going to change, yeah, exactly. So, who knows? And it's all going to change. If it wasn't changing before, then it's going to change even more in the next one because everyone's got different levels of fuel to put in. If people have been saving, maybe in the GT, they might be able to go a little bit longer. Maybe put a little bit less fuel in. Maybe go for a bold no tyres on this one. I don't know. 2 hours might be a bit far for a set of tyres on GTE, but it might be possible. You never know. And
some did it earlier, I think. Some did it early to get into decent positions. Of course, like that is something that we've seen in. We saw Heike Kolvenbach do it to great effect earlier in the race. Currently running in 2nd position in LMP2. We saw them pull it off to great effect. We're looking at that battle though down the order for 5th place in GTE. And we'll see if Barbosa there goes. Berenger to the inside, going up towards roller coaster. Should be a pretty simple move, and it's already done before we've even got to the braking zone. Didn't really fight that one too hard. The Juices number 74, and so drops back into 6th position for now, and that's a +1 positions on this lap that goes the way of that Corvette. So it's an extra couple of points and another top 5 finish for World of Sim Race, and they knocked up a podium a few rounds ago. But a top 5 would be some pretty healthy points. We remember when we started this season, that Corvette was pretty garbo. Definitely has come along strong though. Those teams have really figured it out, and now really finding their limit with the car, and it's good to see.
It is. It's good to see a mix of manufacturers. You want to see them all up the front fighting for the win, and the top 5 is definitely. Well, not maybe what they were aiming for. They might have been aiming even higher, but it's great to see them up in the top 5, especially knowing that they've had those issues earlier on in this season, earlier on in these races. You know, it's not been the best of seasons for them, or for any Corvette for that matter. So in these, as they go through these sweeping S's sections now, yeah, it's good to see the old Corvette getting up there, even though it's quite old now. It's still good to see it running well, and yeah, it's nice to see them up in the top 5 now at the expense of Juices Motorsports Club.
Yeah, indeed. Well, yeah, that's how it works. You deposit someone down the field. That it was curious he didn't fight that position. I wonder if they've got something in hand, or maybe they just understand the pace of where they're at. You know, it's a curious thing. But oh goodness me, that's a lot of DNFs on the tower at the top. The ticker at the top. There we go. They got the tower back. It looks much more positive.
Yeah,
You can see Nicholas Hillebrand is a bit lame there for Butler Powell.
he is. He's just lost his position to VRC1 and Jakubovic again. I believe that was expected though. Pretty sure they were behind. It was the 28, the other Butler Powell car that we really need to be focusing on when they make their stop. And Colvenbach is in right as I speak, so that was pretty good timing. He's in right now as we're just going to see where Jakubovic comes out in relation to this number 28, because these two are battling pretty hard just before the pit stop cycle, and in these penultimate pit stops actually, the LMP2s will not be able to do 65 minutes, so they'll be doing one more stop, which is interesting. Everyone will be doing a different level of fuel though, of course. And Colvenbach is already, that's Hillebrand, sorry.
Yeah, so Sergio Azevedo is taking over that car. I will note Heiko Colvenbach, I think from this point, he is coming in for fuel, but he is coming in for fuel only. But then again, I think Matt Beavers as well will come in. He'll come in at the end of this lap, currently piloting the Wayframe Esports car that will gain the championship lead after this round. They will come in, they will do fuel and tyres on this stop, and they will do a fuel-only stop later in the race. You're currently looking at Roman Jakubovic in VRC1. Currently in that 4th place. It's a team that normally flies quite far under the radar. They flew so far under the radar last time when they got a decent result, and I was like, oh, hang on, they're very much in the championship still. I was like, what, really? But they are very much still in this championship. They are the outside bet, but they have been on the podium every single race, with the very specific exception of Nürburgring, round 3, the other 8-hour race. They've been on the podium every single time. They have finished 2nd position 4 times in season 12. Madness and consistency, always flying under the radar, and from that, they've just dragged themselves up into contention. They're only 13 points off the championship lead. Yeah,
and those 4 second place finishes include on the last 3 rounds on the bounce. They finished 3rd in the last 3 rounds, which is a remarkable effort of consistency, and they've only finished off the podium once, and that was when they finished 4th. So they've had a ridiculously consistent season. It's been absolutely fantastic to see them right up there. They are definitely in this championship fight, only 2 points behind Waveframe when they came into this round. They're going to lose a few points as it stands at the moment, with Waveframe and Matthew Beavis going to win this race as it stands, with still an hour to go. But they're still in this fight for Le Mans, and given it being double points, anything can happen. at Le Mans, as we've seen before, and we'll no doubt see it again. So yeah, we've got to start considering these guys as real championship contenders now.
Indeed. In LMHC, we've got some pitters and Lazarus Philippakos, so everyone in the chat can take a nice big breather now, as Philippakos has come in, got out, and handed the reins over to Nick De Silva once again. So we're out of control of territory. I'm just going to say it, that was an excellent stint, not only from Nick De Silva, but from Lazarus Philippakos as well, and now Nick De Silva takes over that car. And for the team last in the hypercars class, with only 4 points to their name, whoa, that was a bit of a moment. My goodness me, Nick. Obviously had him in for an interview earlier in the race. Pretty proud of his stint earlier in the race, and deservedly so. Arne Skånevliet as well in the pit lane from the race lead. This will be the final stop for these teams. An hour and 5 minutes is plenty of time for these drivers to come in. Daniel Almeida retakes over that Azira car.
Right.
Curious choice. Big respect to Daniel Almeida. He did a decent job earlier. If I really, really wanted to win this race, I would have kept Arne Skånevliet in that car.
Yeah, I would have as well. You definitely say that he is the faster of the two drivers that they're choosing between right now, and well, we're going to see what Almeida's got now out there. Just a quick word on Speedy Mart, actually, as you were mentioning them. Nick De Silva there, they're having a fantastic race, by the way. They're not normally in third and fourth, it has to be said, without being too rude. They're down there in the championship at the moment. One of them's 12th, one of them's 8th. They've not had a good season. None of them have finished in the top 5 at all, but they've got both cars in the top 5 right at the moment, and one of them's on the podium. So yeah, quick shout out to them, because they've had a fantastic race so far. John Jacobs is in the pit lane at the moment, just leaving the pit lane for his final stint as well. So it's going to be Nick De Silva and Sean Jacobs driving for Speedy Mart for now. But yeah, just a quick note on them. They've been fantastic today, and it's nice to see them get a result after all this time of trying.
Yeah, indeed, it's been a great day for Speedy Mite. It's been a great day for quite a few teams. Respect to those that have had bad days, that are still plucking through, still trying to get on with it. It may, in some cases, be a pretty healthy game in a championship. We've spoke before as a yellow flag keeps popping out, not sure why. Dennis Lind for Singularity himself, and Enzo Fazzi have done a good job. Daniel Almeida comes back in the pit lane.
Oh!
Drive through?
Or has he had contact? Was that what that yellow was for?
Oh, maybe.
I didn't see. Let's see if he stops.
No, he's coming straight through. He's coming straight through. It's just a drive-through penalty.
Oh.
Drive-through penalty for your previous race leader. Maybe it was too fast into the pits for Arne Skånevliet. And that there has just handed a potential race victory to Edge Esports, and that will make things just that little bit harder if Azira want to go after a championship, because that's one of their rivals.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, interesting. The gap was about 10-12 seconds when the Azira car came in, and all things being equal, which I know they're not, because Edge Esports are probably going to have a shorter pit stop than Azira anyway, so I would have actually tipped them to come out of the pit lane ahead of Azira before that drive-through even happened. But now that drive-through's happened, I definitely think that Edge Esports are in the metaphorical driving seat here. I think they're favourites from here to take the race win.
Yeah, touche to Alex Siebel, by the way, who's just posted in the chat saying this is a classic bit of information that I've obviously completely forgot. The reason why Arne Skånevliet's handed over to Daniel Almeida is because if he doesn't, then Arne Skånevliet would have done more than 70% of the race, which is a disqualification. So, touche.
Impressive amount of driving.
It is quite a bit.
More than I want to do.
It's a good 4 hours, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the moment, I see we've got some drivers waiting to take over. Jonas Rivier, he's ready to take over the number 87. Mike Epps, British touring car. Yeah, decent lap. He's ready to take over the number 97. Martin Furman will take over the one target car. Adam Bolbon will take over one of the Juicers cars, is the one that's currently driven by Juan Barbosa. Currently looking at the battle between Wojciech Polesny and Ilias Fernandez. Still no position change on this. It's pretty tight, but I don't think that Porsche's quite quick enough to get by the Asombic Esports car.
No.
The other driver is Dennis Dorner. I can't remember which team he's from. I think it's ACR, but I don't remember.
Possibly. I can't remember either.
I've got a cheat, but I've not turned my light on. Great.
Fantastic planning there. But yeah, this battle in second in GTE, I don't believe that, as you said, I don't believe that Pelesne is fast enough to get past Fernandez. However, they are, as I say that, Pelesne does indeed get past Fernandez as the Asombic car makes a pit stop, so that sorts that out, but they are definitely both slower than Matt Richards in the Zancho car. The gap was about 40 seconds, and not a few laps ago. It's out to about 47 now. I believe that Matt Richards is a bit faster than Pelesne and Fernandez. We just have to wait to see if Fernandez gets out of that car or stays in. I don't know what I'd do, to be honest, because I don't know what the other options in terms of drivers are, and I don't know how much driving they've already done. So it could be smart to keep him in. It could be smart to put another driver in. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for some, obviously, we've got that 70% rule that comes into effect. Obviously, it depends on how much people have done before. All comes down to practice, all comes down to speed. I know with like Matt Richards handing it over to Mike Epps. Mike Epps is a perfect driver in sim racing. He's definitely more than capable. In fact, we did a touring car race. We brought it up a few times in this broadcast because might as well do the Sancho plugs. Why not? Tick, tick, tick. But Arne Schoenvliet was there. I was there. There was plenty of other people there that were of decent speed in those cars, more than capable. Mike Epps stood up against all of that lot and was like, "Yeah, no, I can still won a few races as well. Even beat General Admiral Allison. Even beat him. Actually, well, no, one race. One. That's true. One race he did assign himself an extra 75 laps, so he was way ahead of everyone. That was quite an easy win for Allison.
Destroyed everyone.
Oh, that's one of the juices into the pit lane. Pelesne in the pits. Dennis Jordan in the pits. Barbosa in the pits. Cangioli in the pits. Andras Kirili in the pits as well. Oh, that's pretty tight as well. I don't know if you can spot that from... oh, no, it's all right, because the other juices pulled away. It was looking pretty tight that the Edge Esports car was going to get boxed in. Dennis Dorner takes over that car, the 29th placed car. Sim Race of Holland, and leaves the pit lane. And now, that's not Volta Pelesne. That's the Butler Power car, currently running in 9th position. Bram Baylor is behind the wheel of that car.
Yeah, so drive stops are happening. Maybe down there in the pit stop. Just a note on the race lead. Almeida not long ago just unlapped himself from Jordan. He actually went a lap down because of that drive-through. So he's definitely not going to come out ahead of the Edge Esports car. I was actually expecting Jordan to be a little bit later than that, but I suppose it doesn't matter at this point. He's just going to fuel himself up for about 55 minutes or so, or just under an hour's fuel, and he's going to be on his way before very long. And we should see Edge Esports out ahead of Ajira, all things
easily
being equal. Yeah, we should see that, as the number 9 is right at the other end of the circuit right now. He's at Oak Tree, just entering the back straight as the Edge Esports car is getting ready to leave its pit box.
Should be another 10 seconds. Oh no, all right, fair enough, Dennis. You know what you're doing on strategy more than me.
And he's got a very decent lead there. That's about 25 seconds, maybe even more. No, actually about 20. Probably, when he comes out and when he's up to pace properly. I reckon it'll be about 20 seconds between the top two.
Yeah, GT leaders also in, so Matt Richards is handing over to Mike Epps as Kevin Yeager leaves the pit lane in the Blackbook racing car. We'll do our early update once everyone's circled their way through. I just want to point out one very important bit of information that I did see in the chat, but I completely ignored it because I really shouldn't have. But it's still actually quite an interesting thing. Lars Yapperton, who is the driver from Timothy Monsters in that LMP2, he said, brave words, think TRM is still in it for a shout of the win. Winky face. Now that tells me that he knows a little bit more than we do. That's a fair amount of confidence. Of course, Matt Beavis, is Matt Beavis an ex-Rookie Monsters driver? Well, I get the feeling.
It sounds plausible, that, doesn't it?
I get the feeling he was. So Henry Drury behind the wheel of that car. Got into a bit of an incident earlier in the race. Going into the roller coaster, but yeah, whatever. I think it was anyway. Or was it? No, was that when he got spun out by? Who knows? It was a long time ago. It's hours ago. But either way, obviously a little bit of confidence in that camp to see that one happen. I think whilst everyone's settled for a minute, potentially, I don't know how Jimmy feels about this, with 55 minutes to go in this race, we might as well do another hourly update. Ding! He's already got it. Nice one. Good boy. So, presently, after that pit stop, that final pit stop sequence for the Hypercars class, Edgy Sports leading the way, Azura Racing in second, and Speedy Mike Nick De Silva still on the podium, still hanging on. This time, same as it was earlier, another Speedy Mike directly behind, looking comfortable for a Speedy Mike podium. Fantastic work. All of those pit stops are done. They are good to go for the checkered flag. Henning Vollert for one target, decent 5th place as well. Race Clutch realistically should have been up in the top 4, but a disconnection earlier in the race. I think it was about 4 hours in. So they've dropped back about an hour ago to 6th place. Then ACR respectfully just going around, like keeping to themselves, being pretty smart, and looking to pick them up in 7th place. It's not ideal, but it's a good few points. And then, of course, 1ACO Singularity Drillers retired along with a couple of others. Not great for them. In LMP2, now these boys still have to make another pit stop. I will just put a prefix on this. These boys do have to make another pit stop. At the moment, Waveframe Esports number 26 still leading the way. Team Rookie Monsters, Lars Jeppesen still thinks still very much up for grabs, the victory. Heike Kolbenbach doing a great job. Run that strategy. When that second pit stop comes around, what's that but the Power car? Because I don't think he'll take tyres. I don't think anyone will take tyres, mind. But him specifically, definitely won't. VRC1, 4th position off the podium for only the 2nd time this season. Now they're going to be able to find their way back up to it. But Lapal's 2nd car, Sergio Azevedo, very decent stint from Nicolas Hillebrand to keep it on the road and keep it, well, very much up to speed, and moves that car up into 5th position. And then Dennis Lind, I mean, all they've had to do at the moment is just keep it on the road. They have not had a good race. At this point, if the race finishes like this, Waveframe Esports do take the championship lead. Singularity will drop back, but it'll be very, very tight. Basically, whoever finishes ahead of who at Le Mans. Fantastic stuff. Fair Racing Team, Team Margin PL, the other Waveframe Esports at number 36, and Undercover Sim Racing round out the top 10 in that. And then in GTE, these ones, I believe we've made our final pit stop, but there are some fuel questions. Some people might have to stop. I don't think they do, but I think some people may do. Mike Epps jumping in his first laps in the Virtual Endurance Championship of that Zan show. Might have done something. No, didn't do anything at Le Mans. At Sebring. So first laps for the British touring car driver. World of Sim Racing, the number 51, in 2nd position, doing pretty well. Question mark over there.
I'm not sure about them. I think they've got stopped.
Agree. I do agree. So Juice's Motorsport Club of Voice Pelesne, again, not really too sure. Maybe I would go to the end. Let's see from Nick Newcomb. Maybe want to keep that one close to his chest. Ilias Fernandez of Sunbik Esports doing a great job. Blackhawk Racing, the number 81, in 5th place. Then Juice's Motorsports Club, number 74, Adam Baldwin, down in 6th position. Then Witchwood, Drive Game Seat Racing, the Butler Power car of Bram Baylor and Luca Burke, rounding out the top 10 for Speedy Mike Racing. Outside of the points paying positions in this category, you've got Sim Racing for Holland. Then the two important ones, Zan shows number 87. So that's not to say that no one else is important in this, in the sense of the championship. Hold fire. No, it's fine. But those two in the championship hunt, the two main teams in the championship not scoring a single point from Virginia. Not a good run for the 87 or the 60. The number 99, Ulrich, Team Virtual Racing car in 14th position, Team RGPL, rounding out the top 15. And there you can see Blackhawk Racing, Satellite, and Zancho running out retirements. I did notice, only just noticed it now, but that means that there's 3 retirements in GTE, with Blackhawk adding to that. Realised that in the first place. Henning Follett, whilst we're talking of all this garbo, Henning Follett's in the pit lane. So there's a position already changed. Thanks, man.
Yeah, well, he might be another one in a minute, because Tony Mellor's not too far behind. So if he stays in the pit lane for too much longer, then he's going to be down to 6th. That Race Clutch, number 20, that hypercar, of course, was the one target, just sits there waiting for its pit stop to be complete. Just a note on GTE, as we mentioned in that rundown, I personally don't think World of Sim Racing can go to the end, but Wojciech Pelesny has jumped Ilias Fernandez in the pit stop cycle I'm pretty sure both of them can go to the end, and that the Juice's car has just jumped a Sombic with pit strategy.
Yeah, just speaking to Nick, he might come up for a little chat, which will be very interesting. See his strategical insight. From Ed, though, he thinks World of Sim Racing. He thinks they have stopped and they are good to the end, but he thinks they haven't taken tyres. And that's why they've moved up in position, which is a fairly decent gamble. Wojciech Polesny on the back of him, though, immediately for that position. So as much as a gamble that may pay off to a few extra points to their name, I think a podium might be a little bit of a strong suit for Wojciech Polesny, because look down the inside turn. Whoa, there goes Butler Palkart. One of the LMP2s still clears the gap for the inside. I think they might be able to hang on, but the fresher tyres, the fresher rubber of Wojciech Polesny is going to make it stick now. It's going to make it all the way around the outside of NASCAR. Ben, that's going to be brave. It is done, though, and that was a pretty solid move there from Wojciech Polesny. And whilst we're chatting of juices, we might as well find out what's happening strategically. Just behind this, by the way, Jose Berengo is going to come under attack from Elias Fernandez, and that should be a pretty easy move, and it will put the Sombic car back onto the podium. So that's the next fight. But Nick Newcomb joins us. Hello, Nick.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, good.
Great broadcast as well, by the way, guys. And yeah, it's been looking good all afternoon. And yeah, as you and Mike said earlier, we actually ran the numbers for the last 35 minutes of that last stint, and deliberately stayed in third position. No intention of taking second until the pit stop.
All right, smarty pants. So you're good to go. You're good to go to the end then.
Yes, we are. Definitely.
All right. Well, just behind us, we're seeing we can see a Sombic there going side by side to get up onto the podium. Been a decent race though for you. Feeling happy with how things have gone. Maybe not so much for the other car.
Well, compared to what's gone on, obviously we had a drive-through at the beginning. Completed that obviously, and found ourselves in P5 after the further on in the stint. So we're quite happy with that, and we just ran the race from there. Tried to make our way up in such a way where we are now. Yeah, it was a good battle with 55. We got within the 2-second mark and just basically closed them down. Saved fuel behind them deliberately, and we just ran so we knew where we were with the fuel. And Voyager's just being absolutely perfect, running, telling me the fuel numbers for that. Times left, and I just kept doing the maths as you do. Obviously Zancho 97 is running a great race. Obviously sad news about the 87 and the 60, especially 60 was just so strong today. But it obviously makes for a final race at Le Mans, which is just going to be epic. All three classes up for grabs. Though for that last 24 it's a case of it's just going to be eyes everywhere. I think it's going to be a fantastic event, and I'm sure the teams are just going to prepare so hard now. It's going to be unreal, so it's going to be totally enjoyable. And we're having, F4's had a bit of a struggle today, but still strong points coming in. Adams in till the end. But we'll see. If we can get out and beat two out of this, we will be so happy. So the guys deserve it. Daniel drove a brilliant third, fourth stint. Obviously Deutsche started the race for the first time this season in the 73, surprisingly. Did a good job at the start, and he's going to close the race out hopefully without any issues.
Yeah, well, we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. Now, I've got a few big questions for you. Obviously, covering the really important stuff. Number one, are you racing Le Mans?
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's the plan. We've got some keepy back drivers ready as well.
Nice. Which car?
Well, probably the 74. Because it was basically looking after the strongest car towards the end. At the minute that looks like the 74. We're going to get some good points. On the 73 today, obviously we started this race P8 in the championship with 33 points. So we'll get some good points here. So if we can, try and get a position up and before we end the season. That would be really good. It's the first year the car's been in this division. Adam's got the experience, and obviously Zhao is in the 74 at the minute after Eric had to take some time out. Adam's got the most experience in this division, so obviously we'll look to Adam to give him some guidance, especially as we get to the sharp end of the season. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event, all three classes. Championship's still up for grabs, so it's what it's all about. I think the division's been a really good competition all year, ups and downs for everybody.
Yeah, it's been absolute quality, and obviously Le Mans will be very good. Watching that battle, this is the one for third position, by the way. Wave 3 Esports coming out of the pit lane, that was very close. Looking down the inside of turn 1, Horseshoe. Maybe going to make this one stick. There's going to be nearly contact between the two of them, but no. Jose Baranga's got the inside, got the left hand as they're coming up towards NASCAR Bend. There's a Wave from Esports going down the inside. There's further contact between the two. Elias Fernandez going around the outside, but maybe taking it a bit too hot. Now onto the AstroTurf on the outside. Going to hook it up, and I think he should be up into third position. That was a brave move around the outside. That was madness from a Sombic Esports looking for their first podium. It's well, that's the RGPL car as well off. That's pretty mad. Good move though. A bit brave in the traffic, but there you go. Some exciting
It's
stuff.
brave for going for your first podium as well.
Yeah.
And I think we deserve it, personally speaking. But you're not given anything; you've got to earn it. So, yeah, good luck to them. I hope they get the podium spot. I really do. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the race. I'm just going to leave you two guys to it. I've just seen the RGPL on the stream there, and get back down to Voice and and,
No worries,
and
we'll give
enjoy
them
the
our best.
final part of the race. I will do. Thanks a lot, and it's been brilliant today. Really enjoyed the stream, Aidan as well. There's been some really good commentary and good funny moments as well. So great job all together, guys. Well done.
Well, thanks, Nick.
Yeah, fine. And I'll see you at the VLMC race, mate.
Yeah, I will do indeed. Well, I'll try not to take you out as you pass me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick flash.
No worries. Oh, I bet you will.
Yeah, sure will, baby.
See.
See you guys. Well done. Thanks very much for this afternoon. It's been absolutely brilliant. Enjoy yourself for the rest of the race.
Thanks, Nick. That Nick Newcomb, of course, Juices behind the scenes. There, of course, a driver as well. Does some things over in the virtual Le Mans Cup. Also is King DJ. So that's good. Probably not at the moment because we're not allowed to have parties and like that. It's rubbish.
Like that affects us in any way.
Well, yeah, I'm not really a party animal, but whatever.
Yeah, I've just exposed everyone on screen. All right.
Oh well, that's fine. It's all
Never
good.
mind. Nobody's watching.
It was a very, very good move though from Elias Fernandez to get down there, down the inside of turn 1 and then back around the outside of NASCAR. But it's not really a move we see that often, especially not when it's a bit of 3-wide with another P2 as well.
It was brave. You can tell that they really want this podium because that was a brave manoeuvre to be making. But it was an impressive one nonetheless, and they've made it work. Oh, he's made it work. Fernandez is 6 seconds behind Perez now. I don't think he's going to be too worried about that. A podium, as I said before, they're going to be delighted with it, and as Nick said there, they do deserve it, in my opinion, as well. It will be great to see them. It's interesting to see that strategy, and great to see them, World of Sim Racing guys, taking a punt on that strategy with Berenguer. They've got Thomas Jaeger, Kevin Jaeger, just 23 seconds behind them now. So they've got to stop looking in front and maybe start looking behind them if they're not careful. I know that's a big margin, but there is still 2/3 of an hour to go, and that 20 seconds could disappear very quickly when they're on old tyres.
Old tyres a second a minute. You're talking around here, that's about 1.5 seconds a lap. That is very, very plausible, especially considering that gap is going to get probably bigger and bigger. Distance between the lap times between the two cars, and obviously when you take traffic into the mix and everything, there are plenty of reasons why that would be close. By the way, 41 minutes to go in this race, and this is important for one very specific reason, and that is that we are going to be opening that pit stop sort of window area for the final stops in LMP2. You can see our LMP2 leader, Henry Drury. I'm trying to figure it out as well.
It's Matthew Beavis has pitted early, and I don't think he can make it without stopping again. I think he's going to have to splash, so maybe that's what Lars was on about earlier, that they knew Waveframe had to stop again, like twice. So Matthew Beavis is currently 4th. He's down behind Jakubovic, who's just come in. We think he can make it. This is about bang on with the pit stop window. So this is getting interesting in LMP2 now. Does Matthew Beavis have to come and splash in the very latter portion of this race? Well, if he does, then he's going to be right with that car of Team Rookie Monsters.
Yeah, the thing is, I think their fuel windows realistically sort of around 43 minutes, 44 minutes, something like that. Now, saving fuel, there is a lot of spots around here where you can save fuel, right? But doing that, you're obviously losing a lot of time saving fuel. Is it worth it? How's it going to work? It's not a position I'd want to be. I think for them, it's going to come down to a lap on that fuel. It's going to be pretty tight for Waveframe Esports. Of course, they can't afford a retirement in this race. Not when Singularity have had a race like that. They cannot afford a retirement. They need to take full advantage of this. To be fair, if they want to win the best championship in the best way possible, they need to win this race because they need to get into Le Mans with a championship lead. And if they finish second, they will not have that championship lead.
Yeah, having the championship lead does put you in control in more control of the situation. Obviously, you're never truly in control in sim racing, in motorsport, in general, in racing. You know, you're never fully in control. But taking that win will be so important for Waveframe Esports. Don't forget, they've not finished, apart from that little hiccup in the 5th round at Interlagos. They have finished 1st or 2nd in every single race. So they're doing a fantastic job. They're currently 11 points behind Singularity. Singularity look pretty locked in 6th position. Dennis Lind is 3 or 4 laps behind Azevedo in front of him. He's got 90 seconds on Chris Gonzalez behind him. He looks like he's going to score 8 points for that Singularity squad in this race. And obviously a 25-point score for Waveframe will put them 6 points in the lead coming into Le Mans. But if they would finish second, they would come in trailing by a point.
Yeah, the thing is, with all of this, basically, when it's that close between teams of this level, do you know what I love about it? When you get to Le Mans, the points don't matter.
No.
It is the only thing that matters when it's that close, when there's only like a point between you. The only thing that matters is finishing in front of them. And that is a proper head-to-head race. There is Henry Drury into the pit lane for Team Rookie Monsters. But yeah, I love that. I love that battle of it's whoever wins. There isn't, you can juggle that points mileage and you can do this and you can do that and you only have to finish this and you can, as long as you finish in 8th position, you're all right for the chair. No. Beat that car.
Yeah, it makes it simpler for us and it makes it more exciting, I think, as well. I would definitely agree that just finishing in front of one another is the best way to have a championship finale, really. And hopefully we do get the pleasure of that with the 1 point margin. So I would argue that for the spectators,
I agree.
Finishing second is probably the best idea. But
I agree.
You know, so yeah, I'm sure Jimmy can sort that out. No, I'm joking.
Let's all, ladies and gentlemen, let's all big up Team Rookie Monsters. Let's go, boys.
We need them to win now. Henry Drury is out the pit lane. He's 6.5 seconds, just about 7 seconds behind Matthew Beavis. So if Beavis has to fuel save, then Drury is going to be on the back of Beavis, and there's going to be a phenomenal battle for the lead in LMP2 towards the end of this race. Or if he has to splash, then he is not going to win this race.
Fuel only for Henry Drury for Rookie Monsters, coming courtesy of Mr. Nick Newcomb, sending me the information. Thank you, by the way. Just going to say it to everyone watching. According to Lars Jeppesen, stint length for LMP2 is 37 minutes and 41 seconds, which is very exact. Which would mean that you're absolutely right. That Beavis has to make another stop. But yeah, anyway, thank you to all the community that are sort of out there that are throwing messages this way, that way, dumping stuff in the chat as well for us to pick up on. It is very helpful having all this information to bring you the best show possible.
And that's how I learned about the RGPL issues earlier in the race. So thank you to whoever put that in earlier. I was watching the chat stream earlier on while I wasn't commentating. It's very useful to have all those pairs of eyes not looking at things we're not looking at and so on. So once again, thanks to everyone. And hopefully we can reward everyone with a fantastic finale to this race.
I'm sure we'll get something. There'll be some sort of fireworks.
Yeah. What's happened?
Oh, no, it's all right. No, that's all right. It's fine. It's fine. Just technical issues on mine. It's fine.
Okay. I thought something happened on track.
No. Good lord, no. It's not the end of the race yet. It's not allowed to get exciting for at least another 30 minutes.
Right. So Beavis is pulling away from Drewy. So I would say the fuel saving business is probably out the window. And knowing that whatever it was, 37 minutes and something seconds for a stint, I would say that fuel saving for about 5-10 minutes of fuel is not going to happen, really. I don't think that's really an attainable level of fuel saving. We've got a yellow flag, number 81 car. That's the Black Hawk Racing Kevin Yeager. He was 5th. He's just handed that over to Adam Baldwin with that incident at the Oak Tree corner. I wonder if there has been any damage. It doesn't look like it. He looks like he's back up to speed again. Yeah, but he's dropped a position, so that's bad for him.
Yeah, there's the little replay. You saw there Adam Baldwin flying by. White car, red wing. He's been off the road. He's been off the road again as Kevin Yeager.
Oh dear.
He was just off the road, not big style, but he was just off the road at roller coaster. Here we go. Oh no, it's fine. No, never mind. So that was a live picture of Kevin Yeager.
Well, this is going to. They're kind of in the championship still. They're mathematically in it. Obviously, double points in the last round at Le Mans. It's going to be 50. Those who are within 50 points of the championship leader are still in it. So, with those 15 points, the Deuces Motorsport Club car are going to be on 78 points, which puts them just 28 points behind, 27, 28 points behind Singularity. That is not out of the picture. We've got to sort of count them out as an outsider. If Singularity have a race like they have done today at Le Mans, which is possible, don't forget, they could be in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this point, again, a reminder to everyone, when we go to Le Mans in 2 months' time, it is double points, which just means that there's a lot more people that are in it to win it, basically. That said, obviously we focus on those ones that are really in the tight fight, because for the most part, like your top 3 or 4 normally kind of pull away in the championship. We're currently looking at Tony Mellor trying to attack Martin Furman and get himself up into the top 5. This battle between France and Germany, as it should be, 5th and 6th place. Race leader directly behind as well, so watch out for that, lads.
Yeah, blue flags to deal with as well. Even if they don't have to jump out of the way straight away, it's still going to be an issue for them. They're approaching quite a lot of traffic as well, which is going to make it. Well, they're always approaching traffic. It's the VIR circuit, so it's got to get messy. Hopefully not. Hopefully the guards keep it clean. But a 5th place finish is not to be sniffed at. That is a decent finish, and I think both of these teams would take it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, considering you're 3 laps down and you're going to finish potentially in the top 5, for one of them anyway, it's a perfectly decent result. It's solid. It's maybe not the result you wanted coming into it, but I'm sure if you sit back, take a couple of days and think, well, do you know what? We still took some decent points away. At the end of the day, that's what it is. And there's been so many categories in this where so many people have had really, really poor races. I think that's been who was that? It was the ACR was just off the road. Might have been one just a couple of cars ahead of this. Lobato behind the wheel of that one, just off the road ever so slightly at the kink. Turn 10, obviously where that orange zone ends.
Yeah, easy to do. It's a tricky corner. You see it in real life actually. I remember a couple of years ago in IMSA racing, a Ferrari went just a little bit wide and did a full-on jump and just ripped up all the turf and got into all the radiator things. Thankfully that doesn't happen here, but yeah, it's quite a violent corner really. It's actually, if I was to pick a corner, it's not my favourite track in the world, I'll have to admit, but if I was to pick a corner, it would definitely be that one because it's full-on commitment. Through turn 10, you've got to hit the apex nicely and run it out wide as and then there's a dramatic drop downhill as well. It's quite a satisfying corner if you get it right, as particularly after those S's. It's quite a nice section of the circuit, really.
That was very close from Tony Mellor, looking down the inside of the Butler Powell, a motorsport car currently driven by Bram Baylor. Very, very tight margin there. Oh, he's just battered a Sombic car. That was not very good for Martin Furman. Just absolutely clouted the side of the Sombic M8.
Wow.
Might have just caught that in shot, but these two getting very racy. I think that Sombic car seems to be all right, but it was a pretty big whack.
Yeah, I was quite scared it was going to spin out completely there, but the BMW was bullied by something else, and it has been marshalled out the way by Martin Furman. They're safe to say, but they're all on their way. They've all kept it on the straight and narrow. They've all kept it on. Well, they didn't keep it on the road, but they've kept it facing forwards, and they can all continue on with their battles. Don't forget that 55 car has got Polesny just in front, Berenguer, something like that, a few seconds behind. So they're not out of the water for their podium, but they'll be moments like that will be making them extremely nervous as they home in on their first podium finish of this season. Oh, race got
yeah, Tony Mellor in the pit lane, taking fuel to the end of the race. So that solves that battle, at least for now. Yeah, it was a pretty big shoulder barge. But this is why you take a big car like the M8. Because it's pretty hard to move out of the way when you think about it. You know, always pick a car that's big, heavy, and meaty. Speaking of M8s that are big, heavy, and bulky. Maybe a little bit quicker than the cars he's used to driving, but Mike Epps sitting behind the wheel of the 97. So it's always good to get a proper racing driver in the mix, especially one that actually respects him racing properly, unlike driving like a, well, you know.
Wow.
Well, there are some people that can. Let's be honest. We've all seen those Formula E races when they all jump on and they all think, "Haha, this is so much fun. Let's all just wreck each other." And it's like, great, cool. It's nice to see though, real racing drivers come in, get involved, and actually, for one, show us how to do it, and just respect the hobby.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and to your point, I was particularly worried about that, actually. I was a little bit worried that he wasn't going to be on the pace, or because real life racing drivers, they don't spend all their times in sims like the traditional drivers in the series will do. They might not be inexperienced with the sim or whatever, but he's actually shown very good pace, and I was fearing that he would lose some of that gap, even though it was 45 seconds. He's only 38 now. He's putting up a very respectable job against some very fast GT drivers behind.
Yeah, he's had a fair amount of experience in sim racing, not major, but a little bit. Obviously, races over at Simply Race with that bunch, that little group. Good lads. Those lot are, does some decent work over there with them. So he's got a little bit of experience in sim racing. Let's just say that. Comes across here to Zansho. Debut in Virtual Endurance Championship. Pretty decent few laps to stick in your first ones in the career.
Yeah,
in VEC.
And I fancy taking your win on your first trip around, your first stint. That's not bad going at all. And yeah, he's, as I said, showing some good pace, and it's good to see him out there right now. Even if he can't get out and do his day job, I guess you could call it, he's still got the passion and coming over here and showing everyone how it's done.
Yeah. I mean, at least he'll be able to call himself a Virtual Endurance Championship race winner. Dan Cow. Nah.
Wow.
Didn't get to do any laps today, Dan, did you? So it's all good. It's all good. He had a race.
I think that's why they're winning.
Yes, because Dan's off hard bit.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, Dan. He's annoying me because I think he's a little bit quicker than me now these days. It's very frustrating. We've only ever done 2 full championships and beat Dan in both of them. And I say full championships, I mean he missed at least one round in both of them, but yeah, whatever. It's all good. There's the race leader at the moment, Dennis Jordan. Edge Esports checking off his 213th lap. Well, the car's 213th lap in the race. We've got 26 minutes to go in this one. Of course, We've got big question marks in LMP2. We think Matt Beavis definitely has to come in, has to take a splash of fuel. In this category, though, it looks pretty set for it to be Dennis Jordan, particularly after that drive-through penalty that Daniel Almeida had to serve after the pit stop. I'll just read out very quickly the top 3 in each category. Dennis Jordan leading the way for Edge Esports, ahead of Azura Racing, ahead of Nick De Silva, currently in Speedy Mite. Then in LMP2, you've got Matt Beavis. That one there is the Wave 3 Esports car. And you've got Henry Drury, who's currently piloting the Team Rookie Monsters, and Heiko Kolvenbach, who is behind the wheel of the Butler Powell car. Great podium for them as well. Would it be their first? I think.
Butler Powell? Which one?
Butler. Oh no, they. It is the. I think it's the 28 anyway. It is the 28. They had a podium before. They had a podium at Nürburgring. Fair enough.
Pretty much a disaster for the rest of it, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, but well, you know, they're going to knock on the podiums. It's all right.
Yeah.
Roman Yakubovic, by the way, could be up for a podium. Depends on how long that stop's going to be for Beavis. I don't think it's quite that close to that. I think Beavis will come out more than comfortably on the podium. And then in GTEs, obviously Mike Epps, as we said, leading the way in that for the number 97, looking for their first race victory in the Virtual Endurance Championship. Wojciech Polesny taking up that second position for GCs, and then Ilias Fernandez for Sombic looking for their first points. Let's go with that, shall we? Their first podium, first points of the season in season 12, in the penultimate round of the championship. Of course, if you like what you're seeing here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Virtual Endurance Championship. Obviously, jump on over to simracing.club, get yourself involved in the community as well, get yourself ready for the next season after this, because obviously, once season 12 starts, all the focus heads to 13. The luckiest of course. But we do focus, we keep our focus on that Le Mans race and how important it is going to be for everyone's championship challenge. Like I said, it's wide open in all 3 categories.
Yeah, and that's why I like having that Le Mans race at the end so much. It's that anything can happen beforehand, but you can almost throw it all out the window by Le Mans, and you can definitely throw the form book out because anybody could be winning. You know, people really get extra motivation to win at Le Mans. It's a special place for everybody involved with endurance racing, whether it being virtual or real. It is a special place, and people will have that extra motivation, as I said, to really practice, really get it down for this for that final race, and it makes for a fantastic 24 hours. I'm sure it is going to be again. The race continues to deliver. This series continues to deliver, and yeah, it should be another fantastic event next week. Next 2 months away, even.
Yeah,
at Le Mans.
Big time.
I'm used to saying next week. It's just a bit annoying, but there you have it. I wish they were every week, but obviously I think Jimmy might die if we had to do a race every week.
I think I
anyway,
might die.
Yeah, well, yeah, everyone would. Anyway, 20 minutes to go in this one. We can't forget about this. It's not over, especially in LMP2. That's been our main focus for the last 20 minutes or so, because we are not sure. We have question marks spread all over the place at the moment in that class. Matthew Beavis leads by 18 seconds by Henry to Henry Jury, and then Heiko Kolvenbach is another 22 back. I think he's going to slot into second. It's just a question of whether he can catch up to Drury again. I'm not sure if he can.
I don't think so. I think it's a little bit too big of a gap when he comes in. It's also still on old tyres. And he's not going to take Tyson to stop. There's no reason why he would. Expect him to. He's probably going to push us as far as he can. Is Matt Beavis? So I would suspect he's going to stop with about maybe 6-7 minutes to go.
Yeah.
As long as that number is correct, that Lars Jepperson said, because it might not be.
He's on a different team, so
he might be selling as dummies. Whatever. Yeah. I'm sure he's given us perfectly adequate information, if not a little bit too specific. 37 minutes, 41 seconds. That is very odd.
His commitment, it almost sounds so specific that it almost sounds suspicious. But we'll have to wait and see, really. We don't know. because we just don't know. That's the end of it. Don't forget, Jury has older tyres than everyone because he's double stinting completely on this last set of tyres. Obviously, Beavis will have taken tyres at his last stop that he did with about 45 minutes to go, maybe a little bit more than that. He will have taken tyres, but Drewy hasn't taken tyres since over an hour left in the race, so he's going to have the oldest tyres of the two. That's why I'm wondering if Beavis can catch up, because he's just gained 3 seconds as I've started talking about it to now, in the last couple of minutes. He's gained 3 seconds. It could be due to traffic, but also the tyres have got to be playing a part as well.
Oh, always. Tyres always play a part. rFactor 2's a little neat trick. It's a natural thing that you've got to look after tyres. This is why. Actually, no, I was going to say this is why Lazarus' parking stall was just absolutely not true. He's perfectly fine in the race. But control over that. It's very tyre heavy, and this circuit is probably not the most tyre heavy. There are points where you're constantly on the load of the tyre, but there is a lot of sort of straight bits where you're not really through the kinks and stuff, through the snake, through the Esser section, up towards the left-hand of turn 10. You don't really load the tyres up. Turn 1, you don't really load the tyres up. It's like NASCAR bend, but you're loading up the front right. Not really the most worn tyre on the circuit anyway. Like, it's not the hardest track on tyres, and that is why Heike Kovenbach was able to do a couple of double stints earlier in the race. Yellow in Sector 2. Who was causing that one? Brrr. One car into the pit, then that's the speedy might of Luca Burke, who is currently running in 10th place, but I think... is it 10th place? It might be 9th. Whoa. All right, then.
But he's just about to lose a position to Bram Balin. He's about to go down to 10th, and there he goes down the order, and Dennis Dooner's not too far behind in that sim racing for Holland.
He won't drop that, because Dennis Dooner's coming down the hill now. So Luca Burke is going to leave the pit lane in 10th position. So there we go. It was only a little stop, only a bit of fuel. And there is Dennis Dorner currently driving the sim racing for Holland. There yourself is Luca Burke.
Yep, they should be getting a point from here. You would expect the number 84 car. Again, they are 13th in the championship, scored a couple of points along the way. Their best result was in Interlagos, where they scored a 7th place finish. But apart from that, they've not had the greatest of seasons, I'm afraid. It could turn around for them in the next round, but at Le Mans, of course. But and you never know. But not what they were hoping for at the start of the season, and looks like they're gonna come home in 10th if they can't catch up to Balin in the last few minutes here.
Yeah, I still think a point from all of the chaos that we've had. By the way, they're a lap apart. I was going to say there's the battle between 25th and 26th. Herman Stocky versus Bram Baylor. They are actually going to change position on circuit, but it is Bram Baylor just unlapping himself. It doesn't really count. So I nearly got excited then. It's okay.
That's easily done. Because there are a lot of laps between these cars at the moment. If you just look at Dennis Lynn and Azevedo, they're in the same class, but they're 4 laps apart. It just shows the attrition that has gone on throughout this race, particularly in the early part. It's been pretty I shouldn't say this because commentators curse, but it's been pretty calm for the last half an hour. It's been nice and calm.
We don't believe in the commentators curse here.
All right. Well, yeah, we just try and curse as many people as possible.
Exactly. Well, we try and not curse. We just, if you know what I mean.
We just do. Really.
It's sort of just part of the fun.
Yeah, really. It just adds to the show, really.
Look back at pit lane.
Oh.
Sort of drive-through penalty, but that's going to really close it up for the final point.
It is. Here comes Donut.
I think Luca Burke's, he's still going to hang on, but that drive-through, absolutely crucial. Now Dennis Dude's going to see that and think, I can get a point here.
Yeah. Exactly, and why not at the end of the day? You've gone through all this 6 hours. It's been a long, hard day for these guys. One of the hardest, actually, in this season so far, I think, with all the traffic. The concentration levels you've got to have throughout this race, unbelievable from all these guys. Fair bit of traffic still going around. We've got still a lot of cars going around at the moment. So you're not completely free of the traffic. It's not quite as chaotic as earlier. We've kind of reached a point where it kind of happens in at Le Mans and all real big endurance races really. You reach a number of cars that the track is comfortable with, and you don't see an incident for hours on end. And it's kind of a clock. It works like clockwork from them. You just see the faster cars coming through and the slower cars going back and so on. It's quite a nice point in the race, but unfortunately this race is going to come to an end just as we're reaching that kind of equilibrium, I guess you could call it. But yeah, this battle for 10th, it's not over. There's just under 2 seconds between them. No cars in between them right now. Duna's going to fancy his chances, but I'm unsure whether he's actually going to be able to make it up there and make that pass.
Yeah, certainly not if he's about to get unlapped by Adam Baldwin. Lapped. So I'm with it. But he is going to have to drop that position pretty soon. It might be a bit of a tall order. Only 15 minutes to go here at the Virginia International Raceway. Oh, Luca Burke's come in the pit lane again.
Oh, what's going on?
No, that's it. That's the point gone. What's the point?
What is? I don't know what's going on with
it's a
those.
stop-go. It's a stop-go penalty.
How come they've come in 3 laps in a row?
Well, one was definitely for fuel. One was a drive-through, and maybe he sped on that one and it gave him a stop-go.
Wow.
That's pretty brutal. Unless you need to take a bit more fuel, because it's just done an 18-second stop. That's mad.
That's a lot. That's a big miscalculation, and I'm sure you wouldn't need 18 seconds of fuel from here, would you? There's not even 18 minutes left, so surely you can't need that much fuel. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm baffled.
Yeah, there's question marks everywhere, really. We don't know. But yeah, so we do know Dennis Jordan. We haven't mentioned him for a long time, but he is still leading. Nearly 40 seconds to Daniel Almeida now. Looking pretty set in stone, that one. Edge Esports going to take the championship lead after... Are they? Yes, they are. By 6 points. If they carry on with this win after AAA Esports, if you weren't with us earlier, they've got disqualified for apparently going the wrong way, just going wide at turn 10 or turn 9.
10,
I can't remember. 10. It's turn 10. If you go a bit wide there, then you can, because of the way the track is, if you look at it on a track map, it looks like you're going backwards on the opposite, on the back straight, if you see what I mean. And it's disqualified him. It's disqualified the whole team, not just him. So, yeah, it looks like Edge Esports are going to take a 6-point lead going into that final round, and Ajira are going to be there 15 points behind. They're going to be 15 points behind AAA. They're going to be 21 behind Edge Esports. So they're lurking if it goes wrong for the other two.
Indeed. Just got a few things in the chat, by the way. So one thing, Sansana said, no fuel, it's a stop and go. But then something which Jimmy Allison has said, he could have taken 8 seconds of fuel, because the stop and go would be 10 seconds. The thing is, you can do 10 seconds, and then you can add a little bit of fuel in. It does count. So it could be that, which would make sense as to why it was 18 seconds. If not, it's very bizarre that it's 18 seconds. Second thing that pointed out, Lars Jefferson, being an absolute hero in there. Done a bit of maths here for us. He says Matt will lose 38 seconds in the pit stop. So that's Matt Beavis in the LMP2 leading Wayframe Esports car. Going to come back out about 10 seconds behind with 7 laps to go.
That is a tall order, I have to say.
It is a tall order, especially when you're on one side, but the speed that he's been putting in, what's the speed
7
difference
laps.
between them?
Surely can't be 7 laps. It's about 10 minutes to go. Surely he's going to be in, like,
I'm assuming
imminently, really.
he's thinking that he's going to be pit with about 10 laps to go, yeah.
Well, he's coming towards the pit lane now. Let's see if he actually goes in. No, he's going to carry on. So he's got to be in shortly. If that's correct, surely he's got to be in shortly. Surely he's got to be in shortly. That's what I meant. That was a bad choice of words.
Last lap time, there was a second difference between the two of them.
Right. Well, it wouldn't be enough, would it, really?
No, not really.
No. 10
It's
seconds,
tight.
7 laps.
It's tight, but it's not enough.
Yeah. Well, one mistake, of course, from Rookie Monsters and Drewy, then it's over. So he's got to be careful. It's not over, but it looks like it's going in the way of Team Rookie Monsters, and you wouldn't have predicted that an hour ago. You would have thought, Wayframe have got this. They're going to be leading the championship. but no, they are. They could be second place at the end of all this, and that would leave us with a 1 point margin going into the ones we've iterated before. But we'll say it again because the prospect of that is really quite exciting.
It's tantalising. It's madness. A few teams have really played their strategy cards here very, very well. To be fair, yeah, Rookie Monsters very much so. The Butler Powell Motorsport car 28, that's played strategy cards very, very well. We spoke as well with Nick Newcomb, who was talking about how things have worked out at Juices. Great strategy play there as well. Matt Beaver goes around for another circulation of the track. Approaching that final pit stop, we are approaching the final 10 minutes where it's suspected he will take to the pit lane for an extra splash of fuel to get to the end. Just, I guess, 38 seconds. Yeah, it's about right. Yeah, it's fine. I'm like thinking about it. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Some people have blown it wide open on the strategy, and it's created a phenomenally interesting race. Of course, this is let's be honest, a controversial choice, which I'm sure Team Alison will stick to. And you know what? I've been excited, I've been entertained. It has been terrible for some, great for others. I think, for the most part, the main issues that we've seen, right? This is like the difference between like Zancho's issue and the Singularities issue. Zancho's was a disconnect, and we've seen a few disconnects, a few too many disconnects for my liking in this race. And yeah, exactly. Monaco and ACR, we've seen plenty of disconnects, race clutch. That's a bit of a question mark. However, if you look at like a lot of the teams that have crashed out, right, the likes of not the Singularity LMHC, that was a screen freeze, but like the GT car, Rory McDuff in the Hydra, Dennis Lind as well in the Singularity, all these lot, they've crashed of their own accord, right? Like, it's not the circuit being bad in that sense. Like, it wasn't even a traffic issue. It's just a mistake that a driver has made that they've paid the price for. What's the problem with that? Don't make the mistake. Pretty simple. Lewis getting harsh on drivers.
Yeah, this is you better not look at the chat for the next few minutes because there is going to be some abuse. But well, hopefully not. But yeah, it's and don't forget I think that mistakes are magnified on this track particularly. I think it is a difficult track, but it's down to the driver at the end of the day, really. If you make the mistake, then you make the mistake, and you've cost your team, you've cost yourself, I guess, and that's the way it goes in racing, really. So it's unfortunate that people have had their complaints, had their bad days, and whatever, but at the end of the day, it's as he said, it's not always the track's fault, especially when it comes to mistakes on driver's accord. But we'll move on from that particular subject before it gets too vicious. Yeah, yeah. But I'm going to focus on just going to follow myself, going to follow Waveframe, and see if they finally pit on this lap because we're approaching 5 minutes to go, and we're definitely expecting a pit stop very, very soon.
Yeah, still circulating, still determined not to come into the pit lane. We are expecting it, but who knows? Maybe they're going to pull a blinder, pull a fast one, magic some fuel out of nowhere. Kind of cheating. Oh, no, he's coming in. No? Yes, there we go. I was like, that's a bit too shallow of a line there, good sir. That's not a quick one. Into the pit lane comes Matthew Beavis from the race lead in LMP2. That will promote the Rookie Monsters car up into the race lead, and it'll promote potentially, actually. No, but we're not going to go any further than that. We're going to say it's going to promote them out of the race league because we know that.
Yeah. It's not going to be a long stop.
Is that an actual battle between Stocky and Brian Baylor? No, it's laps down. It's fine. Whoa, that's some contact there between Stocky and Henry Drury. Yeah, that was mad. It's close.
It's close. It's close.
Dead close.
This is on. I doubted him before, but I think Beavis has got a chance here. I really do. He's got two GTEs separating the two of them right now, but he's going to clear them very quickly. Drury's on older tyres than Beavis, don't forget, and this is going to be absolutely on at the end of this race.
This is big. This is very big. This could be sweet. This could be everything that Matt Beavis needs and that team that Waveframe Esports need. to really mount a positive charge on this championship. On a message from Matt Richards saying that he's feeling pretty nervous at the moment. Of course, line up for a first race victory in the Virtual Endurance Championship, Division 1. The obviously the top flight, the official endurance championship on rFactor 2. It's big stuff, big time, big teams and big drivers, and to take a victory among this lot, very impressive.
Sorry, I'm concerned about Dennis Jordan. He's very slow at the moment. He had 40 seconds, nearly 45 seconds of the margin. It's almost halved in the last 20 minutes or so, and he did a 37 last time, which is around about LMP2 pace. It's slower than LMP2 pace.
Well, you know what they say,
yeah.
traffic giveth, traffic taketh away.
Well,
but
I
no,
know.
From a serious point of view, it's not that.
He's losing to the 3 car, the Wanako. Is that the Wanako? I think it is. Sorry, no it's not. I don't know what car that is, but he's losing pace. That's not the 3 at all, there isn't a 3. Whoever it is, it's a hypercar, but he's losing pace to it on a straight, and I'm concerned about the well-being of that car at the moment.
So, I mean, I'm not going to, I did the same, what everyone did when that Toyota blew up at Le Mans. Everyone was like, oh no, it's just cruising back for a photograph. Henry Drury, by the way, apparently has damage, which we'll check out in a moment. The thing is with that, this team, they know their numbers. I'm pretty sure they're aiming for a specific race end lap, and that means, you know, like whether that comes down to fuel or whatever, it comes down to a large number of factors. I don't think there's a major issue.
Yeah, I'd forget it. He's just done a 32, so
he says it's not Drury that's got the issue. It's Matt Beavis.
Oh.
It is right hand down, and he's closing.
Wow. Well, if you didn't have this damage, then it might be over by now. So this is interesting. Matt Beavis, they're both on the back straight now. They've got a few cars of traffic. They're not going to be clear of traffic throughout the rest of this race. Could this race be decided in traffic? We've only got a couple of minutes to go though, and Matt Beavis will not have long to close up to, and then hopefully, in his case, pass that Team Rookie Monsters car. This is going to be extremely close at the end of this race.
Yeah, this is. I mean, all I'm hoping for right now is a nice, clean battle.
Yeah.
Get it? We'll see. Henry Drury versus Matthew Beavis for race victory in the LMP2 category. I don't know how VEC does this, but there's always one category where it just really comes down to the checkered flag, and with only 3.5 minutes to go, boy oh boy, have we got a proper fight here. Henry Drury knows that pressure. He's trying to force his way through traffic as best as possible. That was pretty aggressive, trying to get by one of the Zanchos. That's the 87. That's the one that's down in sort of 11th, 12th position. Currently driven by Jonas Raivio. See if Matthew Beavis can clear his way through as well. He is going to get past the Juice's car. Should be able to carry the momentum up. He's going to commit, and he's going to try and blow his way by the Zancho. Does it. Tick.
He had to do that.
Move.
He had to do that. Yeah, there was no way he had time to stick around behind that car of the 87. He had to get through very quickly indeed, and he did so. It was a risky move in the end, but it paid off for him. He's got it's 2.1 seconds. He's not closed on this lap particularly. He's actually lost 4 tenths compared to where I saw them on the back straight this time last lap. So this is interesting. The Team Rookie Monsters car just pulled a little bit on that occasion, but it's going to come down to the wire. 2.5 minutes to go.
It is quite a mountain for Matthew Beavis to climb if he wants to do it. See, now the gap, by the way, for those of you panicking, like me, a little bit, with their G-Sports, gap, I think they've dropped it back to sort of like the area they wanted it, and now it's kind of like remaining the same. So I think the race is going to end where they want it to end, i.e. only doing another couple of laps. Which works out for them, you know. Why not? Why go an extra lap when you don't have to?
Yeah. 2
minutes to go in this race. We're currently watching that battle for the LMP2 lead. Team Rookie Monsters versus Wave Freem Esports. A reminder of what's at stake at the moment. Wave Freem Esports currently, if they finish in this position, although Reverend Kubovic is also in the pit lane, we'll get back to that in a second. If they all finish in the same position they're going to finish in now, Wave Freem Esports go into Le Mans 1 point behind Team Singularity as things stand. If they get by, that is a 6 point advantage, which could be very, very crucial come the checkered flag at Le Mans when it comes to that title race between those two really heavy hitters in this field going toe to toe.
Going to be absolutely fantastic. They've got the 84 GTE just in front of them. That is the Speedy Mike car. Matthew Beavis is so much closer this time. It's 7/10 of a second as they go down the back straight. It's going to be tricky into the roller coaster though. With that GTE, it might slip between them. Let's see if Beavis can get through as well here as they come into the roller coaster.
Yeah, there will be. I'm looking at this now. I'm just doing the maths on where Dennis Jordan is on circuit and how far he's got to go. There will be 2 laps to go in this race. So it is not the final lap yet. There is still another one for Matthew Beavis to close up and to try and get by. Thankfully, this is where the great thing of having 2 computers is that we've got side by side, so we can still watch when it gets to the important point where Dennis Jordan is, and we can still keep an eye on this mad battle between these two for race victory in LMP2. GTE. Oh, it's all good. Panic there. I thought I disconnected. GTE and LMHC seem pretty sorted. This category, though, way up for grabs. You can see in the top right there, that is Dennis Jordan. And that is where he is. He's started his final lap of the race here. He is just being super careful. He's got 18.8 seconds back to Daniel Almeida. He has no reason to take any risk coming by any of these guys. Checkered flag is getting ready. The timer hit 0, and look at how close this is. Matthew Beavis is all over the back of Henry Drury now. There's a bit of traffic that may have balked Henry Drury. Oh, it might just be enough. There's going to be slipstream, big slipstream up towards the roller coaster for the very second to last, rather, time for these 2 drivers. Oh, I think it might be enough. Henry Drury's going to hand it over to the left-hand side. He's going to cover it back off. Matt Beavis comes back over to the left-hand side to look down the inside, heading into the roller coaster section. He's committed. He's overcooked it. He's spun. That was way too overcooked for Matthew Beavis. Don't accelerate. Don't accelerate. Go backwards. Good sir. I mean, it's definitely going to still be a podium. Good attempt, but unfortunately not. That race win should go the way of TRM. We'll look, though, your race either coming through the roller coaster now. What could have been from this one? I don't think they predicted this. I don't think they predicted a disqualification heading the way of AAA, but coming out on top here in Virginia, heading into the Le Mans, the championship is right back on as Edge Esports are victorious here at VIR. As Gira reignite that tiny glimmer of a championship challenge, and they take 2nd position, a well-deserved effort from Daniel Almeida and Arne Skånvliet. I mean, Speedy Mike, they're going to get a podium. They're going to do it. Not only are they going to get a podium, they're going to get 3rd and 4th place as well. Crazy stuff for those 2. Amazing drive. Brilliant, brilliant work. Absolute classic race from that lot. Super proud. We've got the LMP2 victory. They're a little bit further back from this, so we will focus. This is on Mike Epps coming up towards the roller coaster for his final time. It has not been a great few rounds for Zansho, and that's across the board. They have not had a great run of things. It's been some mistakes here, some mistakes there. They've been so close. They were close. They were just on it at Sebring, and it wasn't enough. Just came up a lap short of the 1,000 miles of Sebring victory, but they come over stateside and they do leave this side of the world with a trophy, and that one is a race victory, the form of Mike Epps, Matt Richards. They are taking a victory here. Of course, Goran Djordjevic as well. Great effort. Solid work. Wojciech Pelesny in 2nd position. Ilias Fernandez gets the first points, regardless, for a Sombic there. And Henry Drury does cross the line, a victor for Team Rookie Monsters, their first victory of the season. Fantastic work from them. Matt Beavis and Heike Kolvenbach will round out the podium. You and any final thoughts on that race?
Well, I was just going to make a note on the final move by Matt Beavis. I don't think it was really on. I don't think he needed to make that move just then. He had a whole other lap. He wasn't that far alongside. He had his front wheel alongside the back wheel of Henry Drury. I think he could have pulled out of that move there, waited until turn 1 maybe, waited to the roller coaster the next lap. I don't know. I don't think that was the smartest decision from Beavis to make the move there, but it was an absolutely fantastic race. Well done to all the class winners, of course, Zancho, Edgy Sports, and Team Rookie Monsters. Yeah, congrats to all them. I hope we have a fantastic race at Le Mans as well, because that was absolutely brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. I hope everyone did at home as well. But yeah, that was just a pleasure to commentate on. It was a great race to watch.
Well, indeed it was. Of course, thank you to yourself, Ewan, to Justin Sutton, who started the broadcast, Ada Millwood as well, of course, Jimmy Allison, everyone else who's taken part, everyone has been feeding us information throughout all of this. And that is VIR done. Again, keep up to date with everything on simracing.club and join us again in 2 weeks' time when we come to Le Mans in the virtual Le Mans Cup. And then in 2 months' time, 6th of June, mark it in your diary, we're going to Le Mans. This championship is right back on across all categories. Don't miss it. Thank you very much for watching. Until then, goodbye.